All right. All right. Tata, I didn't know about being late. Hey man, I'm I guess I was just at it takes a while to get back from Hayes Street back over here, man. It's a long ride. But hey look, I was able to pick up I was able to pick up a jersey. I got my Willis McGahee jersey on, so I was able to pick that up over there off Hayes Street and there's quite a few things over there. I seen Ellen and Dub City go get their oil changed there. So it's a lot of good things over there at Hayes Street. So anyway, like I say, the link is in the chat. Shout out to South Coast, Ellen and Cuban Kane. And today, I don't know if South Coast will be joining us today. Well, there he is right there because I want to. South Coast had 12 questions. I hate that I was not able to be there live. I don't know if he balled the questions up, but I would like to maybe go over some of those 12 questions that he had today and anyone else that would like to join us on tonight. So let's bring South Coast in. What is going on here? Oh, my bad. My bad. There we go.
What's
Trying to
up,
work,
my brother?
trying to work this thing. There we go. What is going on, Mr. Overdose? What is up, South Coast? What is going
Yes,
on?
sir. Yes,
I just
sir.
came, just was on Hayes Street. Like I said, I picked up a jersey. Um, so saw a lot of stuff. But Ellen said I'm still in content. Hey man, South Coast now rocked out. South
Hey,
Coast
bro.
took a break on us and everything. I said, boy, man,
Look,
intermission.
look. I pulled out my notebook with my questions. I have my roster ready. If you don't believe me, I'll pull up my roster I made to make sure, because I caught some flack about not having a roster.
Yeah, Cuban,
You
Cuban,
know,
Cuban almost. He was close to pulling the card. Yeah, I got
you
I
know.
got me a couple of notes. Um, but yeah, like I said, no, like you said, no one wants to talk about the defense. I want to talk about the defense. I want to talk about the defense because I was in Coach Hayes' chat Wednesday. Me and a person were going back and forth. I was telling him, I said, "Hey, look, we're going to be a younger team next year
Yeah,
versus what we were last year."
yeah,
And his rebuttals, I understood what he was saying because he was saying, "Well, hey, if you look at it, there'll be some guys that." Have more. Well, we'll be adding experience to other positions to kind of offset it. And I was just like, no, because I think offensively we'll be fine, but defensively we got a lot of guys that have to play, and so that's what I want to start with. So let me just say this, and and then we'll kind of get into it, right? So I went to PFF. I looked at snap counts, right? So we are losing four guys on the defensive side of the ball that played over 600 snaps last year, right? And four of them played in the secondary, which is James Williams, Jaden Davis, Cam, and Corey Couch. Those are four defenders in the secondary that played over 600 snaps. Along with losing those, we're losing two linebackers that played close to 400 snaps in KJ Cloyd and Corey Flagg. LT played 340 snaps, even though he didn't play all the regular season games. Branson Dean played 335. 335. Jafari Harvey played 313 snaps. Now, I'm not that concerned about the defensive line because I think we addressed those issues in the portal by going to get CJ Clark from NC State, getting Austin from Marshall, going to get Marley Cook from Middle Tennessee State because I saw he played over 622 snaps last year, but I'm sure that'll be cut in half this particular year. But from a secondary standpoint, the most snaps that our returning player in the secondary played last year was Daryl Porter with 501. No, Harrison Hunt 506. Well, no, Ruben Bain plays 627, but again, he's on the D line. But from a secondary and linebacker standpoint, Kiko plays 698 snaps, followed by Wesper Saint. Daryl Porter Jr. played 501, which is going to be followed by Damari Brown at 331 snaps. So That's just, I mean, that's just in total we lost 2,651 snaps on the defensive side of the ball from a secondary standpoint, not including the linebackers. So got a
Well,
lot
well,
of young, got a lot of young guys that we got to replace. I mean, a lot of young guys got to step up really, really soon.
I'll be honest with you. You went far more in depth than I did. I was doing good just to get the names all together.
No, but I
But
mean, I'm
yeah,
just saying
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just looking at this, like Jaden Harris is going to be pegged to be one of the safeties. He played 130 snaps. Markeith played 75 snaps. Popo played 38. Joshua Horton 32. Malik Bryant played 12. Bobby Washington played 14. And Marcelius Pulliam played 11 snaps. Now, these are guys that are going to be in the two deep for the linebacker and the safety position. They don't even have, they don't have that many snaps. So that's why I
Right,
was saying like 8 or 9 wins. I have to go with that because we don't have enough. We don't have the experience on both sides of the ball like we need to
right,
have like
right,
we have this year.
right.
But I don't want to over talk it no more. Yeah,
No, 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 no. I mean, it was. I mean, of course, Cuban always comes through with something like this because everybody, even myself, you're so geared on the offense because that's all you hear. And then when Cuban asked, "Okay, well, who's on the defense?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" I didn't even think about. That's when it hit me, dude. It hit me. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" You know, we had nobody's even talked about the defense.
no,
And it's that. I just went ahead and threw the I had my questions and stuff, but I'm like, man, this just really boggled my mind. I've been thinking about it, but man, I tell you, that's only on the EFP, which what we're gonna call. I think we ought to call ourselves that, the EFP.
EFP.
The EFP. You down with EFP? Yeah, you know me. Anyway. But nah, seriously, dude. I mean, with the exception of a few, you basically gonna have, a brand new defense out there.
Yeah, and like I said, and then when you look at it, okay, we got Powell from Washington. Okay, Powell's a 1 year guy. He played 876 snaps. Marley Cook, 1 year guy. We got Savion Riley from Vandy. I think he may have 2 years. Austin only has 1 year left, and I'm sure CJ Clark only has 1 year left. So
Right.
those guys have to come in the spring. They have to learn, have to learn the playbook. You know what I mean? So, and that was the same thing I said about Cam. It's like, he has to come in and learn the playbook and stuff like that. But like I said, I want to try to talk about the defense, and then, like I said, you had your 12 questions or whatever like that, and we can kind of
Well
maybe go over them again, or at least
well
half of them.
well well, the thing is, basically all the questions I had was centered around Cam.
Okay. I mean,
And centered around, how things will be and so forth. And some of these questions, they've been kind of floating around on some of the shows, but some of them I kind of whatever. But like I said, when Cuban said the defense, bruh, it just
yeah,
I should have just threw my paper away and not even worry about Cam because now I'm in a whole different mindset, you know.
yeah. I mean, because like I said, like Cuban says right here, like
Yeah.
what's being missed in all of this is if let's just go back. The
Hmm.
past three national champions, Georgia won twice, and then you got Michigan won this year. We're talking about top three defenses.
Right.
Maybe, yeah, we're talking about top three defenses that have won. And like QB said, the secondary is going to be new. The linebackers and the D line, those guys have learned the playbook, and I agree. And the thing of it is, to me, is like when you look at last year, right? Cam should be an upliftment to the offense because maybe we can score more. But just looking at these guys not even having 200 total snaps, it goes to show that, for one, we didn't do a lot of rotating in the
Right.
secondary nor the linebacker position. We didn't do a lot of rotating. We did a lot of rotating along the defensive line. But obviously, I guess maybe from a mental aspect, linebacker and secondary, you know, a lot more mental position. You got to understand what's going on, real quick and stuff like that.
Right.
But it also goes to show that, like I said, we didn't get out on anybody, you know,
No.
except for the first 3 games or 3 of the first 4 games.
Three. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of potential, a lot of talent, but
Oh,
but
most definitely.
but what my whole thought process was, I looked at Wes Saint and I said that Wes Saint was a guy who many people said, "Hey, you're gonna start before the year starts, right?" They bring in KJ Cloyd. KJ Cloyd is the first linebacker out, so everyone's scratching their head like, "Okay, well, what's going on with Basaint?" So then you hear, "Oh, well, Basaint's not he's not where the staff feel like he should be right now in his development." So towards the end of the year, he was able to do that. So mind you, Wes Basaint played a lot his freshman year. We're talking about some linebackers who didn't play at all very much
Right.
this
Right.
year. So how far behind in their progression are they going to be compared to where Wes was at? Because Wes still has some hurdles to cross, and he still has more to cross now. So imagine you got Wes who actually got some playing time as a freshman, and then he still had some hurdles that he needed to cross this year, and really, really started to cross them towards the latter part of the season. How we compare that to 4 guys in Popo, um, Pulliam, Malik Bryant, and Bobby Washington? How do we compute that? That y'all have to step up because again, I don't think we. I mean, it can happen, but I don't think Kiko needs to play 698 more snaps this year.
Right. 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 And you know, it seems like Miami's defense have always had that two or three linebackers. You know, but yeah, it's a young, inexperienced. You know,
Yeah,
and again, hopefully Gidry can get things taken care of. You know.
yeah. I mean, yeah. He. I think this year right here is the year that we really see what we have in him, because I think we had some veteran guys. And like I said, like QB says, yes, we rotated 4 backers this year. So we only have 2 of those 4 returning. So who are going to be the other 2 guys? So we got Kiko and Wes. So out of Popo, Malik, Bobby, Pulliam, which one of y'all gonna get the third and fourth spot? It may be Austin. I think he plays a outside linebacker type of role, so maybe an edge guy. But just kind of looking at some of his, I guess, PFF scores, he's more of a pass rusher. So I don't necessarily know if he'll be an every down type of guy, even though we're not necessarily running 4 backers. But I don't know how he would fit into that particular rotation. But yeah, I love defense. I like offense. Everyone talks about it, but at the end of the day, I don't think no one can deny that the defense carried this team for the majority of last year.
Oh, most definitely. Most
So,
definitely. Yes.
so with that being said, I don't know why more focus has not been put on the strength of the
I
team.
I I think it's because offense is more sexy, if I can say that.
Yeah,
Offense sells tickets, defense wins you championships.
yeah. Cuban, what
You
do you
know.
mean? Cuban, what you mean by this? Are you asking what is my starting lineup, or are you just
Oh, here we go.
putting it out there? Because if you ask me my starting lineup, I can give him a starting lineup. I can give him one. From a defensive line perspective, we can go. We got Ruben Bain on one end. I got Akeem Mesidor, defensive tackle. I'm going to go C.J. Clark, and I'm gonna go Moten. I'm gonna go Moten. To be honest, no Cook. I'm gonna have to go Marley Cook. So that's 2 transfers starting. Linebacker, the 2 backers we're gonna have was calling me. 2 linebackers obviously gonna be Wes and Kiko. Corners, Daryl Porter, Damari Brown. At safety, I like Jaden Harris. So I think I'm looking at Jaden Harris, and I'm going to look at Powell And from a slot guy perspective, uh, this is where I kind of it kind of gets me because you would want to say, hey, let's go with Markeith because Markeith has played, but this could be a role that maybe Zaquan Patterson could come in and play early, in my opinion, or maybe even a Caleb Spencer, someone of that particular mindset. Because I know when he was being recruited, the very little that I followed was that he was a guy that most people felt like he could come in the box and be a physical presence. So um, that's what I'm looking at. But you got to get some
Yeah,
guys in here, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't argue that. I'd probably agree with it right now, today, the 19th of January. But
Yeah, January 19th. Yes.
I honestly, I could see some of these freshmen getting in there. Seriously, because just because of the fact that, like you said earlier, the defensive line, or we'll just say the line, you know, they had injuries. Okay, so some
Yeah.
people were coming in and out. But I mean, when you start getting into your linebacker room and then the defensive backs, it's up for grabs. And a lot of cats just didn't get the on field time. And with some of the recruits that come in and the ones who are still yet to be brought in, because the national signing day is what, it's next week sometime, I believe. I want to say
I thought it was in.
24
I thought it was in February, but like I
or
said, I don't keep
February.
up with.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't keep up
But
with
but
it.
what
So
I'm getting at, you still
yeah,
have the official signing day.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you still have some transfer portal stuff going on. But I would not be surprised if we could see like maybe 3, maybe 4 true freshmen on the field.
I mean, I anything. I don't know. Um, Cuban X, is that a championship defense? Also, what happened to all those great recruits? You named two guys. See, Cuban. I like that though. I like it. It keeps me on my
Oh, I
toes.
love it. I love it.
Is that a champion? Is that a championship defense? Now, Cuban. That's an interesting question because I know what you're trying to do, but I'm a person that I love debating. I love dialogue. So this is what I'm gonna kick back. Championship, that's gonna be based on the matchup, whether or not it's a championship caliber defense. Now, looking at our schedule currently, if we could match the same production that we had, I think rankings wise, we could probably be a little bit better next year. Now, from a matchup perspective, to me, it depends on who we will play. Will we play a team that's going to be prolific through the air?
Mm.
Because as of right now, like South Coast said, January 19th, I don't think we could play with a prolific passing offense right now. If you're talking about a team, and I'm talking about, I got two defensive linemen with 400 plus snaps at the defensive tackle position. Then I got a Moten. Then I got a Horton. I got a nice two deep. Then I got some guys that can roll in on edge. I got a linebacker in Kiko who ranked out as the best run defending linebacker. A West Saint who's going into his junior year. If we're matched up against a team that probably tries to run the ball a little bit more than they pass, I think you could say it's a championship defense. So to me, it's about the matchups, right? Because as great as that Georgia defense was, in 2021, I believe, we saw what happened when Mechie and Jamison Williams weren't hurt. We saw them get sliced and diced. But when they played them again and those two guys were out, completely different game. So that's the way I'm gonna answer that question. Cuban, I'm not gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna give you what you need.
Just give them a little, just
I'm
little
gonna give you what you
nibblings.
need. I ain't gonna give you what you want. I know
Just
what
give
you
'em a little.
want. I'm gonna give you
Just,
what you need.
but yeah, I mean, we gonna see what kind of defensive coordinator we got for sure.
Yeah, and and cause like I said, we're gonna have to talk about the offense on this show because, like I said, no one cares about the defense, so we gotta keep some people engaged a little bit. So we'll talk about the offense just a little bit. But just from a standpoint, man, you have to be intrigued by Jaden Wayne just because he has the prototypical, body of these new age rushers. Um, like I said, I'm so intrigued with Jaden Harris. I know some people may not like him a lot, but I'm just saying we're talking about a guy who's recruited as a corner out of
Right.
a very talent rich state of Georgia. Ends up being one of the absolute fastest people on his team, and now he's transitioned to safety. So we're talking about a guy that has cornerback coverage ability and is as fast as a corner. So him putting it all together, uh, who knows?
And
But
that's go ahead.
no, but what I'll say is recent memory has shown when we lost a great safety duo, um, we didn't just necessarily pick it right back up because we all
Yeah,
remember what happened after Red Wine and JJ left the building. Our
yeah,
last
yeah.
and JJ was a All American, not from a AP standpoint, but there were some other publications that gave him All American recognition.
Right.
In a year where I believe Minka Fitzpatrick and Derwin James were still in
Yeah.
college football. So then we go to Bubba and Gervin, and those guys messed around for 2 years, and then in 21, we got James and Cam. So
Right.
that'll be interesting to see if we can get two guys to step up behind those guys.
Oh, most definitely. Because again, it's gonna be an interesting year in the defensive backs. I mean, it's gonna be it's. I mean, you I don't think you'll ever see a an Ed Reed followed by Sean Taylor. Rest his soul. But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be hard. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Our defensive backfield, man, they were just starting to get pretty good. They were starting to improve, in my opinion. They didn't look as dazed and confused. But
Yeah.
and you're most definitely, and I'll take it a step further. You'll probably have a lot of transitioning going on with this defense. I mean, you could have some cats, if they're kind of like in that in between area between lineman and end and linebacker. I mean, you could, and again, you got the incoming freshman. Matter of fact, Cuban's gonna rip me for this, but the young man, the lineman that's playing in the don't they have like a Polynesian Bowl in
Oh,
Orlando?
Justin Scott.
Scott?
Justin Scott.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, uh, Dude, I'm telling you, we talk about the offense in the spring game, but I'm telling you that defense in the spring game is probably equally, if not more, intriguing.
I'm to be honest, from a spring game perspective, and I spoke about this on my last show. But like I said, we can I'll hold that thought, right? I'll
Yeah.
hold that thought for when we talk about the offense. But I'll just say this from a defensive perspective. It's gonna be like, okay, the word vanilla. Okay. If it's
Oh yeah.
vanilla,
Yes.
then I want to see those guys executing it, right?
Right.
Actually, to be
Right.
honest with you,
Right. Right.
I want to see the defense win the scrimmage, the spring game. I do. Personally, I do. Because from the standpoint of Cam Ward will just be getting here. So he's only gonna have a handful of practices with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
Mm-hmm.
our starting two linebackers are returning. Our starting DNs are returning. Our starting corners are returning, and we'll have to figure something out at the safety position.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But just from that particular standpoint, the defense should win. In my opinion,
They
it should win.
they should. They should. But I mean, again, they're still, question. And like you said, I agree with you. Like when it comes to this, vanilla defense, are they going to execute properly? Are the ends going to kind of stay at home when they need to, or we're not going to over pursue? It's kind of like I talked about it with Camp, but a lot of these guys are they going to try to do too much? You see what I'm getting at? But I'm dude. I tell you, ever since what was that Wednesday? Yeah, the What's Up Wednesday, and Cuban, it's your fault, dude. Cuban, it's your fault. Notice I have red, not pastel tonight. Oh, It has completely, dude. I'm telling you, man. Cuban has thrown again. Again, this
I
ranks
love
up
Q.
there. Oh, I love him too. I love the man to death. I am so glad I met this dude, just like you and other
Yeah,
folks. But
I love Q.
this has totally, this talk about the defense has really changed my thinking and my thought process right now. I have completely screwed the offense. You know, it's good stuff. This can make for good conversations.
Yeah. QB asks, what if Emory throws for 823 on them? If Emory throws for 823, then we got a problem.
Yeah, because what's Emery
I
doing?
just caught it. I just caught it. Yo, you got it.
But
QB.
but
You got it.
Poffenberger, what if Poffenberger dunks on him?
Hey,
Anyway, yeah.
hey, I'm glad you brought that up because guess who else on the team can dunk?
Who's that?
Joshua Horton. I don't know
Wow.
if you remember last year, we got Joshua Horton kind of somewhat late in the cycle. He was kind of
Yeah,
under
yeah.
underranked, and there was a highlight of him dunking the basketball. So we got we
Well,
got
I
some
mean,
dunkers now.
I,
We got some
I
dunkers.
I would hope there's more than two guys that can dunk on this basketball team.
I don't see the
But
footage, so I can only go
I
by
know,
what I
I
see.
know, I know, I know, I know, I know. But if there's ever a shirts and skins game, I would take Poffenbarger
Oh
in
man.
the skins. Pause.
Oh man. You know what? I'm gonna write that down. We got to do that. We got to do a 5-on-5 defense versus offense. We got
There
to do
you go.
that. We got to do that. Let
Can
me see.
Mario dunk? I doubt it.
He can dunk a cow. He can dunk a donut to
Donut,
some of that
yeah, yeah,
Cuban
yeah.
cow. Yeah, yeah, he can do that.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
but Cuban, not hey, I said Cuban. Um, but South Coast, which position group, in your opinion, on the defensive side, which position group do you think has the most upside?
The line. I
Okay,
say that I say the when you say upside, what? Oh, here we go. Cuban. Now Cuban's bringing me into the fold here. No, we're gonna. Hey, the EFP is it's a joint venture, dude. But anyway, I don't want to take over the show. I may do my own show on the EFP. But anyway, so now, Shad, make sure I understand your question correctly. Are you talking about which position group is going to have the bigger impact, or
I'm no, not the bigger impact. Which position group? Well, let me. Okay, I'll ask you this way: which position group do you think currently, January 19th, not including transfer guys, which position group on the defense do you feel like has the most talent or potential talent? Because we can't say talent right now because a lot of guys are improving, but we're talking about if they all hit the ceiling, right? The proverbial ceiling in their development. Which position group do you think has the highest ceiling? Maybe I should ask
I,
that.
I'm still going to say defensive line, just for the simple
I
fact
can
that
understand.
that's where most of our experience and most of our snaps have been taken. No disrespect to the other group, but right now, just just because we're basically going to have basically the same guys on defensive line, so to speak. So I'll go with that with linebackers second and then defensive backs third.
Okay, I agree with that. I'm gonna take the. Well, you know what? You're right. I am. I'm about to do it that way too because looking at it currently, I don't see. And Zaquan Patterson, people are talking about Zaquan, but I don't see a difference maker in our secondary. I don't necessarily see a difference maker at the linebacker position either. And when I say difference maker, I'm talking about the guy that we have to know where you are. You're a part of
Hmm.
you're a part of the game plan. We're talking about we're taking at least a portion of our practice to say,
Gotcha.
hey, when he does this, when you do that. We don't have that in the
Right.
back
Right.
segment. We already know we got Ruben Bain,
Oh
but
yeah.
from a just a overall perspective, like look at this. Like I said about Jaden Wayne, okay, Justin Scott, a freak athlete, Joshua Horton, a freak athlete, Armando Blunt is an underclassman who reclassified, who
Hmm.
played for the same defensive line coach that Ruben Bain played for,
Right. Right.
and
Right. Right.
has some of the same move set already.
Right.
So the
Right.
defensive line, like you say, yeah, defensive line by a wide margin, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, and of course, there is potential. Now, potential doesn't win you anything, but like you said, as of right now, the 19th
As
of
of right now,
January,
yes,
nobody's proven, nobody's unproven, but we
no,
know about
no,
Ruben, we know about Akeem, et cetera, and
yeah. I'm not
I
even necessarily just talking about though. I'm more so kind of maybe talking about some of the recruits that have come in.
right,
Now,
that too.
Akeem
Yes, yes.
Mesidor, yeah, yeah, okay, okay,
Yeah.
I got you, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just and that's I mean, with the defensive line, that's what we have coming back, plus the recruits that are coming in. But again, it's just one of those we just have to be patient until April or whenever the what well, wait a minute, you got Canes Fest. That's where all the
Yeah, that'll be in April. Yeah,
that's right. So I mean, there you go. I
yeah,
don't but yeah, defensive line, dude.
yeah. And like I said, and defensive line has to be the strongest because again, like I
Mhm.
said, just looking at these snap counts, no one on our defensive line. I think Harrison Hunt ended up playing 506 snaps on our defensive line. That was the most snaps by a defensive lineman on our team last year,
Right.
which was in the second close. The second most was LT with 341. So,
Right.
um, yeah. So yeah, that's just what it is. Um, because again, when you look at it again, there wasn't a person in the portal, a defensive player in the portal
Right.
that garnered the fanfare of a Cam Ward, right?
Well,
Because the
of
whole
course not.
aspect was, yeah, the whole aspect was, well, we're a quarterback away. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was listening to You Heard, and Flo was on there, and Flo brought up something, and I thought about it, but I didn't think about it. Flo said, and I'm paraphrasing, this team that we just had was a quarterback away. We
Right.
don't know what next year
Right.
team, if all of the holes are going to be filled, because next year
Exactly.
because again, let's go back. Let's go back, South Coast. Let's go back. Let's do a little history. 2021 season, it was, oh, we need a defense.
Yep.
We'll be back.
Yep.
2022 season, okay, will the offensive line get healthy? We'll be
Right.
back.
Right.
This year, we're a quarterback away. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yep.
so
You're seeing the light.
yeah. So some people put themselves in a box by saying, okay, well, we're just this away. We've been four things away every year for the past 4 years, and I could probably go back further, but we'll just go with recent that we
Well,
can kind of
let
without
me ask you
googling.
now. Now I'm gonna go Cuban. Okay, I'm channeling my inner Cuban.
Let me get my pen together because I might have to make sure.
When and this is for the fine folks in the chat. Everybody, when's the last time Miami hit on all eight cylinders? The first thing that comes to my mind is the early 2000s.
Yeah, we had to go back to 02.
Yeah,
We go back to 02. We have to go back to 02.
ever since that 01, 02, 03, it's always been where this, we need this, we need that. It's always and I know I remember saying, I'm like, damn, we got an offense, but we don't have a defense. Man, we got a defense, but we don't have an offense. You know?
Hey, Cuban, you right. On a
Yeah.
lesser, on a much lesser scale,
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
are absolutely correct
Yeah,
because I'll say this, Cuban. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm not Cuban. I call you Cuban. But you said you challenge your inner Cuban. So
that's
when you
right.
are you out of so you're not challenging anymore. You back to South Coast.
Man, if I always try to emulate Cuban because Cuban is the mark of success, dude. He is the level.
Okay. Okay. But what I'll say about that 2016 season, the problem with that 16 season was that 4 game stretch that we had right there in the middle, where
Right.
Mark Rick was so stubborn, wanting Kaya to continue to go under center, knowing we didn't have the offensive line for that. But Cuban, you are right. 2016 will probably be the last time that it was not a question. We had the receivers. Offensive line was it was good enough when we were in shotgun. Run game was solid. Defense was, of course, it was
Hmm.
solid. It was good. So yeah, I would. So Cuban, yeah, I would go 2016 because I think, like you say, South Coast, we'll go back to '02 because we got to the national championship game. But
Well,
like you say, the question was when was the last time we hit on all cylinders? Not when was the last time we reached our, we made it to a national
right.
title game. I'll say
And
that.
like
Yeah,
in '03, when Brock come in, they had him going under center. That's not what he does. Just like Kaya,
yeah,
and then it and I'm not going to even get into the D'Onofrio session of the programming, but you see where y'all see where I'm getting at. It's like
yeah,
one year we have it's I don't want to say it's frustrating, but you would think that we would have both a good, even if they're not great, but if they were kind of equal footing. Whoops.
yeah,
And I think this year it's gonna be like arena football. We're gonna have to outscore. No disrespect to the fine folks on defense, but right now our defense, like we've basically said, we just don't know. It's inexperienced. They may come out and be lights out number. I don't know. We just don't know.
yeah. And like I said, that's the thing, right? You have to have experience, right? That's one of the two
Right.
things. That's one of the things that many people took away from this national championship game was just look at the super seniors. They had 11 super seniors between both teams, and then obviously you got a gang of juniors. Sometimes you cannot just insert talent and think that
Right.
talent is going to usurp actual experience. And like I
Right.
said, I may stand on this hill by myself. I don't care. But from a mental standpoint, from a understanding assignment, understanding what I need to do, not from a physical standpoint, we're gonna have to find somebody to replace Corey Flagg.
Most definitely. Oh, and just to tell Mr. Overdose, nah, I'm not loving
Nah,
LSU. That ain't
nah,
happening, dude. I ain't done it in
nah.
54 years. I ain't doing it right now. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. You know.
And that's like I said, most people we'll talk about okay, he was a little bit slow, and
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
he knew what he needed to be.
Right.
He was the guy that was. I mean, even before Kiko got here, he was the guy that was setting everything up. He knew
Right.
what everybody needed to do. You would see him bumping
Hmm.
somebody over. He knew what to do. That is not something that you easily replace. Now, obviously, again,
No.
I think most people say Popo is the quintessential middle linebacker. Okay, well, can you replace Corey Flagg from a mental standpoint? Can you replace him from a mental standpoint? We feel like from a physical standpoint you can, but mentally,
Well,
can you go in there and replace Corey Flagg?
well, wouldn't that be up to Gidry and the coaches to get the young man up to that to learn him and try to teach him?
He has to. I mean, and and
You
and,
know.
and part of that is on the player as well. But like I said, Popo played a total of 38 snaps, right? And these snaps are including the bowl game. You
Right.
played
Right.
38 snaps, right?
Hmm.
Now, I don't know if they preserved the red shirt for you or whatever the situation is, but what I will say about this, Kiko played 698 snaps, and to
Hmm.
me, that tells me two things. One thing is Kiko was what many people felt we needed from a linebacker perspective, but also it showed that we don't trust y'all yet. We don't
I
trust
agree.
y'all,
I agree. I agree.
and
But
we didn't
let me
trust.
ask you this. In this whole past 2023 season, I'm like, good Lord, please keep your hand on Kiko. Because if Kiko goes down, no disrespect to Flag and Basaint and all them. But again, with Kiko getting most of those snaps and doing so well, because again, I don't want to pull out the history books, but used to you had people on the bench that could come. I remember when Vilma was in the 0-1 game and he put that lick on that Nebraska quarter running back, and I'm like, wow, this is second string, and it's again no disrespect to any of the players, but I have to start putting some responsibility on the coaches and the development, which has been, you know, ever since the
Yeah,
days of Arthur Brown, I've been saying that. They just don't want to develop these guys and they just rely on the stars. But yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I
because
just I hope they develop them.
because like I say, like South Coast, this is another thing. Going back to the secondary, Cam played 638 snaps, but he missed 2 games.
Oh, poor
So if
dude was
Cam
hurt.
would have played in those, yeah, because of the freak injury.
Right, right.
If Cam would have played in 2 more games, Cam would have easily been over 700 snaps himself.
Exactly.
So I, I mean, we can talk about talent all day, right? People can go and
Right.
say, "Oh,
Eh,
what Kirby Smart said about, oh well, it's not the scheme. We got the talented guys. The guys still have to be taught the scheme. The guys still have to
Right,
understand what they need to do at a high
right,
level in order for this to
right.
work." And
And
600 and not, I mean, let me cut you off. 698 snaps, 730, 638, and 633 snaps. That tells me that those guys mentally have to get it because I don't want to hear nothing about no, oh, we're gonna red shirt. Red shirt them for what? You don't even know they're gonna be here.
exactly. 2-year program, and what I was
Shout out,
gonna
shout out to QB for letting it be known. If you ain't got it together in 2 years, see ya.
right. But again, on the flip side of that conversation, you know, how many times when Miami plays, no disrespect, but the lower tier teams like, the Bethune Cookmans and the cupcake schedule, when, why don't the coaches put those second string, third string cats in to get a little bit of that game experience? I mean, if you're going to sit there against, say, no disrespect to Bethune Cookman, but if you're going to play Bethune Cookman and you're up 50 something or 40 something to nothing or three, why would a Cam Kitchens or a James Williams or to why would they still be in the game? It's an excellent opportunity to let your second string guys, your third string guys. This is where you can get your experience. But I I digress.
I'm just, hey, I'm glad you brought up Bethune, Ellen, you and South Coast. The thing was, because we were talking about why we didn't score more points on Bethune, and some people were like, "Well, we scored 70 against Bethune with Josh Gaddis here, so the 30
Yeah.
some odd points, that's fine." Okay,
But
cool.
but how many second okay, bring it Wasabi.
That
What
that's another thing,
why
South Coast playing for
why
overtime.
why and I know it's the knucklehead nucleus, but these cats are more worried about why we didn't score 90 points on the Sisters of the Blind instead of, well, why didn't our third string safety get some playing time and some experience? You see where I'm getting at?
Yeah,
Oh, uh, that's whenever we play, that's just me. But whenever you play those lesser opponents in the first part of the year, that's an excellent opportunity for the first string to kind of keep the rust off, kind of stay in focus. And then, you start letting your second string have their experience, and then you let the third string come in. And you know what? If you know, uh, I'm gonna say FAMU or a other team. I hate to keep picking on Bethune, but if the FAMU scores 10 points on the third string, well, so be it. At least the third string got some playing time. And
Yeah,
maybe Emory can go 9 for 23.
yeah. I
All right,
mean,
I'm done with that.
yeah, yeah. Hey, but you know what, QB, I'm a I'm gonna write that down because I wanna touch on that pause. I wanna touch on that when we get to the offensive side of this thing.
Oh yeah, and of course that's a whole nother variable in the equation when you add the NIL in there.
I
You know,
wanna I wanna I wanna I wanna I wanna really talk about that. And let me write down a name as well. We're gonna go
hmm,
back down a little bit. Okay, so it's not the name that you think I'm writing down, but it's a name. But I'm when we get to the offensive side of things, I want to talk about that. But yeah, like you say, South Coast, like I say, when we go through a 13 game season, Popo 38 snaps. I don't, mean to, say it again, but 38, Horton 32, Malik Bryant 12, Bobby Washington 14, Marcellus Pulliam 11. Those are
right.
the four. Those are the four linebackers
Hmm.
that we said. Well, not me, because like I said, I don't like to put unrealistic expectations on incoming freshmen. But
Right.
those are the four guys
Yep.
that were saying, "Look, this is what the linebacker room needs to look like. This is what
Hmm.
it needs to look like."
Hmm.
And you mean to tell me that three of y'all combined didn't get 40 total snaps? Three of y'all combined won 40 snaps?
Right. It's like you don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul, but then again, you want to be able to. I mean, because even from an injury standpoint, okay, let's just take away the experience variable. But when because usually your first 3 or 4 games, it's lesser quality opponents, aka the SEC. But until you get into the conference schedule, so your first 3 or 4 usually they're a lower tier teams, especially next year because Florida, which Florida got problems, dude. Uh, but I mean, it's an
Boy,
excellent
do they.
opportunity. Huh?
I said, yeah, I said, boy, do they.
Whoo! I love it though. I love it. It's like Christmas coming in January with Florida State. And anyway, well, again, back to my point. Those first that the month of September. Let's say the month of September. You know, yeah, you let the first string kind of all the bearings a little bit, and then you let the second and third string come in because guess what? Injuries will happen come October, November, God forbid, you know,
Yeah,
and it's just, and plus you're doing those young men an injustice and a disservice if you don't let them get some experience,
yeah,
you know. Oh, oh yeah, Shaq, Pickney, Pickney was my favorite. I love Pickney, man. Pickney,
yeah, I
oh
love.
my gosh,
Yeah,
Pickney
yeah,
was.
yeah,
I was hoping Pickney would have came. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Shaq. Don't get me wrong, but Pickney, man, I just something about Pickney. That was my man, bruh.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Anyway, where are we at, Shaq? What were we talking about?
No, we're just talking about just the younger guys not getting that many snaps.
Right.
Basically what we started the show with. Just
Hmm.
elaborating on it a bit more.
And of course,
Um,
that goes with offense as well as defense. But right
yeah,
now, we need more help on the defense. And my gosh, if me and you and the folks in the chat can see that, my God, I hope that the coaching staff can see it.
yeah, because like I said, I've never been a coach, but I've played the game at obviously at a much lower level. But when you watch yourself on film in a
Mm-hmm.
game,
Right.
you could see they can say, okay, well, see, we talked about this in practice, but they switched it up a little bit. So this
Right.
is how you got
Right.
to attack it. Versus looking at practice footage of the scout team who cannot run the offense or even the defense to that extent at the
Mm-hmm.
same level as the team that you're about to go play. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
people, let me tell you something. Someone was again, Coach Hayes chat the other day. They were talking about, oh man, we had the played the most snaps for freshmen and sophomores and stuff. And I'm sitting up here and I'm looking, again, I'm looking at the defense side of the ball, and I said, what are you talking about? This
Right.
ain't a lot of snaps. But again,
Right.
we're kind of in a weird time right now in college football where you got Van Wilder, who's back again. If I'm him, I would. Hey, I don't. If I'm him, I don't like odd numbers. I want to go for an even. Give me 10. Give
How
me
many
10.
degrees has that young man got by now? But anyway, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Hey, let me actually. You know what? Let me say that for the offensive side. I'm gonna say that. That's gonna be the first question I ask. Oh Lord. All
Entertainment
right.
for foolishness, posse.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you that question as soon as we get to the offense. But yeah, like I say, I absolutely love defense. Again, South Coast, you've been a Kane fan longer than me just because even
I'm
though me and you
old.
the same age. We the same age though. Nah.
We old. I'm old, bruh.
No,
I'm
but
old. Dude. I'm old.
I'm actually I'm asking you a question. I'm gonna ask you this question, South Coast. If you had to, and you won't have to do it right now, if you had to just conjure up a list of a top 10 of the best Hurricane players that come to your mind, which side of the ball do you think is gonna have the most guys? Offense or defense?
All right, Shad, you're channeling your inner Cuban now. That man, it's funny. It's funny you say that because I need to get back on it, but I did my 40-year favorite series. And dude, I'm gonna tell you what, bruh. I, that's a hard question, bro. If you go back as far as I remember, and I've been doing this, bruh, for every 10 offense, I can come up with another 10 defense. And then I could come up with another 15 offense and then another 20 defense. Dude, but I will tell you this. I will tell you this though, in all honesty. As good as the offenses have been since I've been watching, and supporting Miami for 40 something years. Uh I would have to say the defense. I mean, it completely proves the theory that the defense wins championships. It's I would probably say, to answer your question, it would be at least 2 or 3 more defensive players than offensive players on that list.
Yeah,
At
and,
least.
and yeah, and I'm glad you threw that caveat in there because you added some context that I didn't put some context into it.
That's okay.
Because no, it's great because it opened my eye to something. Because we have to, and I'm guilty of this just by just asking you that question just that quickly. Because I'm looking at it from a standpoint of what they did at Miami and then what they turned around and did in the NFL. So I'm kind of disingenuous in it because if you look at it from that particular perspective, it's hands down the defense. But if you're looking at it just from a Miami Hurricane perspective, then that's when it makes it more interesting because there's
You
some guys who had better collegiate career than NFL career.
Again, I refer you to this guy named Shad. Had a video. I think it's probably been about 6 months ago talking about that. Check it out. If you go check his channel out, Shad 14, he was talking about this. But yeah, Miami is not immune, just like every other program. You have guys that were better as college players than they were NFL players. And unfortunately, a lot of folks use the NFL as a litmus
Yes.
test on their college, just like college is a litmus test for high school, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like, there were so many, and just like there were so many good, great, fantastic, entertaining college football players that never really panned out in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just again, I'm going to refer you back to Exhibit A. This guy Shad did a video where you have cats who, were Hall of Fame type in high school, get to college, didn't
Yeah.
really make it. That's just the way it is. And with
Yeah.
Miami, that's the way I look at it. I mean, yeah, I mean, because there's what, how many Miami Hurricanes in the NFL Hall of Fame? Five, six,
Yeah. And
seven?
I think we're Yeah, and I think we're probably just currently right now. I think we probably got another 4 to 5 more, and I think
Okay.
we could.
And you,
I think we're threatened. I think we're in contention for having the most all time for any school though. I think we're
right,
getting there.
right, right. But, it started with the Mad Stork, if I'm not mistaken. Ted Hendricks, for those of y'all that don't, have the Cliff Notes, Mad Stork, remember that. You had him, and then there was a break. But I mean, what I'm getting at is when you go from college to the NFL, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
You know, look, my man Jerry Rice from Mississippi Valley State, you know, and what I'm getting at is, you would think, and a lot of people think that you go to Miami and you be successful like the 80s and the 2000s, that they should automatically be perfect in the NFL. Some of them were, but other schools, you know,
yeah,
that like, okay, the back in the 70s and 80s when the Alabamas and Nebraskas and Oklahomas and all those, I kind of have a hatred for them, but how many of them are in the NFL Hall of Fame? You see what I'm getting at? And
not me.
kind of like today, in the last 5 to 10 years, you look at the championship games with the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Floridas, the Clemson, et cetera, et cetera. How many of those folks are going to be in the Hall of Fame? And you know, so I guess to bring this all full circle, just because Miami has been blessed with great, talented players in football, just because they don't do well in the NFL doesn't mean they weren't that good at Miami.
Yeah, yeah, and I think to maybe kind of put a cherry on top of that, I would say this. I think our defensive players, and I'm sure someone could go back and maybe do some numbers. I think our defensive players have had a easier time of transitioning to the NFL and being great or good than I would
Oh
say
yeah,
maybe the offensive
yeah,
player. Because like I
yeah.
said, because obviously you start at the top. You got the greatest middle linebacker of all time. You got the greatest safety of all time, right?
Right,
Miami doesn't. I mean, and I don't think Miami doesn't have someone in contention for the greatest tight end, greatest quarterback. I mean, Frank Gore, third leading rusher, but I don't think anyone's going to argue that Frank Gore is the greatest running back of all time. Dre and Reggie, and even Mike, right? Mike is in that conversation for the greatest receiver, but most people are gonna say, look, this is Jerry, Randy, and T.O., and everyone else. Y'all pick up the rest. But defensively, we got Sal. Like I say, you got Ray, you got Vilma, you got Reed, Trail. I mean, Sean Taylor. So I mean, I would say that. But to get back to what we're getting to, Miami's a defensive school. We'll just say that.
right. Now, I tell you right now, if you want to see some fascinating, eye-opening numbers and stats for offense, there's a website called sports-reference.com, I believe it is. That's where I got a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
my
yeah,
stuff from.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah, yeah,
dude, you start looking at some stats and some numbers, it will surprise you. believe it
Yeah.
or not. Like, okay, I know we're the foolishness is at 100% right now. But for instance, real quick, like with the quarterbacks, you know, I believe Steve Walsh had the better numbers of all the quarterbacks in the last 40 years, rounded numbers. Who would have
Okay.
thought that?
Nobody.
You know, and believe it or not, Tyler Van Dyke, TVD, Mr. Bratwurst, I think he was like what second or third in
Yeah.
yards
Yeah.
passing,
Yeah.
passing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You see, but then again,
Yeah.
you got to put everything into context because
You
you
gotta put
had
everything in the
some
context.
years, you know. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay, what's our next question, dude?
I'm gonna add this to the offensive topic too, because even though his life is what it is, uh, I think we could. I think most people could honestly say he may have been the most just purely talented tight end that has ever come to Miami. I know David Njoku like he's knocking on that door,
Man, let me
but
tell you about Kellen. I'm getting on. I'm okay. Kellen Winslow Jr. I love that dude. Not I don't really care for his dad because of what San Diego did to the Dolphins back in the day. But let me tell you something. This is I'm old school.
hey,
Okay,
how can you blame him? You gotta blame Dan Fouts for that, man.
look. Okay, I'm old school because look. Did y'all find a coach at the Raiders yet? I know.
Got Pierce.
What
It's
Pierce?
locked in.
Okay,
Pierce.
all right. Anyway, uh see, this is what ticks me off with Kellen
Okay.
Winslow Jr.
Okay.
Love that guy, talented guy. Okay, after the Tennessee game, Tennessee, this was back in '03, if I'm not mistaken, when he had his locker room rant that was blown out of proportion and manipulated by the media. You know, Kellen talking about this is a war, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, dude, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The 80s Miami fan come out in me because it's the basic. That's what gets me is when they judge Miami unfairly. But what he said was true. How many times? Matter of fact, that little that punk ass bitch Brian Bosworth, if I can speak like that on your channel.
Hey, knock yourself out.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Brian Bosworth. That's all he said. Nobody batted an eye at Brian Bosworth. You know, you got people today talking. Nobody bats an eye, but you let Kellen Winslow Jr. From Miami say the same thing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the world is crumbling to an end because this is all okay. I'm done. But yeah, Kellen Winslow is good. See that I'm look, bro. I'm old school, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miami's not perfect, but
No,
don't
no,
have your double standards with us, buddy.
oh
Anyway,
no.
continue.
And who would have thought that this show would have shined some light on Kellen Winslow Jr.
Well, I mean, hey, dude, he was good.
Yes,
Truth be
yes,
told, he was. He
yes.
really was. It's just that
Yeah. You know what? I don't even want to talk about off the field. He was a great player.
he was.
He was a great player. And you know, when people, I know some people, they do this oftentimes. They say, "Hey, which player from a former team would you love to have on here?" Bro, give me Kellen Winslow. We need that type of fire and passion in the locker
Bro,
room. Y'all talk about the quarterback. Kellen Winslow said, "Look, bro, we gonna run through a wall today. What?
right.
It's
But
real."
unfortunately, Kellen Winslow was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong team. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? If you would have
yeah.
put him, okay,
Oh yeah, him and Jerome
Take
Brown on the team.
Shockey and
Yeah,
Winslow, interchange them.
yeah,
Take
yeah,
Kellen and Bubba Franks, et
yeah,
cetera, et cetera. Kellen and Chazinski. Okay. You see where I'm getting at there? I mean, Miami
yeah,
football history is riddled with that. You had great players that were either born too early or too late. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah.
dude, I will be honest with you, bro. You know who I'd like to talk to?
Who's that?
Stephen McGuire.
Okay, why is that?
Because in my opinion, and you kids are going to hate me, but Stephen McGuire was probably one of the best Miami running backs of all time.
And again, that goes back to what you just said. His he'll be judged on, well, what did you do at the next level? No, let's talk about
Right.
what you did. What
Right.
was here at Miami? Let's
You
let's,
know,
let's
matter of
keep
fact,
what's here. Here. Yeah.
he was part of the last Miami team to beat Alabama.
Okay. Yeah. There's
But
another
anyway,
name.
okay. So,
Yeah.
hey, no, and look, dude, Mister,
And
I'm
look at
telling
this.
you, bro, I did a show on the running backs. I'm telling you, dude, you
South Coast. South
good
Coast. Look.
good luck. Good luck trying to find the best top 10 running back. Good luck. I challenge you to come up with your list.
South Coast. Look what we just did.
What we do.
We we went from talking about the defense to now
I
we talking
know.
about Angelo's defense.
I
We
know.
don't even. We being
Hey,
hypocrites. We supposed to
hey,
be talking
it's
about
the
the
entertainment of foolishness, baby.
defense. We supposed to be talking about the defense. Uh,
Okay. Okay. I feel like I've
I,
hijacked this. It's all Cuban's fault because
no, no,
Cuban started this stuff.
no, no, no.
Okay. So,
Uh,
okay, let's bring it back.
do you have
Moderate
anything?
us.
Do you
Do I
have
have
anything else to say
anything
about
else on
anything else?
defense?
Yeah, you have
Oh,
anything else?
I in all seriousness though, I'm just kind of in a wait and see, a holding pattern. I just want to kind of see some on field results. I know the spring game isn't a good test of talent, but it does kind of give you an idea. See how some of these young guys perform against some more experienced talent, especially offense. You know, to see how the defensive line and the linebackers see how they do against the offensive line. Just kind of see, you know,
Okay.
just kind of get a feel, get an idea.
Yeah, yeah. Um, my last point of defense, I think this quite possibly, and again, don't quote me right. I mean, well, quote me, but don't hold my feet to the fire. Um, I think the tandem of Porter and Brown, it should be good. It should be good. The sophomore slump thing, that's still a real thing.
It
It's
is.
it's
It
still
is.
a real thing. So hopefully Brown can he can avoid that, right? He can avoid that. And I think Ruben Bain, they have a year
Mhm,
of film on him. But the
mhm.
good thing about Bain is a technician. He's not just a one
Oh,
trick
yeah.
pony.
Right,
So I
right.
think he should be fine.
And
Now
you got to realize Bane's been double teamed a lot this year.
he's been double teamed his entire life, so
That's what I'm
so
saying.
he's had
So
to figure it out. Yeah,
hopefully some of these younger players come in will make opposing offensive regret double teaming Bane because you can't double team the whole line.
no, you
I
can't.
mean, unless you do like Mario or Mirabel and bring the wide receiver in to block. But I digress. That's right.
Well, the Cuban just text you that.
No, no. I've been influenced.
Cuban just text you. Oh my god, bro, running max protection with a 5'8" receiver coming in motion, nasty work,
I
nasty.
know. I know.
But with that being said, like I said, Jayden Harris, Malik Bryant, as well as Bobby Washington, those are my three guys that I'm gonna be very, very interested to see
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they do in the spring game, as well as what they do next year as well. And obviously, this particular conversation is a conversation you talk about all the time. I know you said you're gonna be transitioning over to baseball, which again, like I said, it's only so much to talk about. I only do one show a week anyway, so
I mean,
I
you
should
kind
be
of
able.
have to, you know, it's kind of
Yeah,
like
you have.
with the cam thing, you know, you let everybody else do their knee jerk reactions, kind of let it digest and then just kind of flow into it. But I mean, right now, you know, and that's okay, here we go. We're going off topic, but that's what pisses me off about the YouTubes and Twitters and all this stuff is sometimes these people will make up drama in order to maintain their viewership, you know. But let's be honest, dude. There's really nothing going on until
Nothing.
practices crank up.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean, well, we can all share the picture of Mario in the snow with the better looking helicopter. We got that. We got Billy Napier sitting there
Yeah.
like
What's up with that
why
photo
Shannon
with
Dawson.
Dawson sitting there like that shit eating grin, and Napier acts like he can't pinch one out, dude.
No,
What
I
was that
don't
at
know.
a high school or something?
I guess it was. I don't know. Napier looking like I didn't know y'all were gonna be here.
Right.
Y'all were gonna be here. So,
Exactly.
but anyway, since Cuban is the moderator, impromptu moderator, don't forget to talk about the offense. Well, Cuban, we're headed there. I think we've covered the defense as much as I've heard, well, more than I've heard other channels cover it because I haven't covered it at all, other than maybe um, naming a player. But I think I went a little bit more in depth, in terms of why I feel like 8 or 9 um, won't be that bad, but
Hmm.
won't
Well,
necessarily be that
I
good
will
either.
say that before we jump to the offense, I got to refill my cup, dude, because I don't have one of those little dainty purple pastel cups. I got the big boy. That's
Okay.
right. I
All
do
right.
32 or better, baby. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna step away for a moment. I'll be right back.
All right. No problem. Yeah. So while South Coast is getting his refreshments, um, let's see. Cuban said, "Don't forget we'll talk about the offense." We're gonna talk about the offense. All of the channels are cam helicopter. QB, you right, but I'm gonna talk about we're gonna talk about Van Wilder, the Rashada NAL saga, Gators in trouble. Yeah, it's interesting watching Florida State and Florida falter, which to me it just it's even more reason as to why we have to get this done this year. But I just don't feel like the roster experience combination is where we need. Kane forever, what's up? I'm sorry to get to you earlier. Yeah, Scar Breeze, like you said, yeah, everybody hit the like button while we're here. Um Mr. Overdose, when every game is a nail biter, you can't allow green players again. You're right. I 1000% agree with that, Mr. Overdose. You can't. It's impossible for those guys to get experience when you're in situations like that. And like QB said, we're out here when you're out here playing for overtime. You can't have that one fatal mistake. And the unfortunate thing about it is that when you're in a nip and tuck game and you allow for maybe a play to burst or something like that, and they score, it pushed the pressure right back on you. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that those guys would have to be, the finger would be pointed at them because it was noticeable this year. It was noticeable when the starters were off the field versus when the backups were on the field. And excuse me. And unfortunately, it wasn't a lot of those instances, but we know those instances, right? I know some people tried to, lump it in and say, oh, well, Corey Flagg was on the field. That's why I played broke. Nah, that wasn't always the case. Sometimes it was just he just had a interesting lineup on the field. And Kiko, I believe it was reported that he had a procedure on his shoulder. I think he and his brother did. So that's going to be interesting as well. That, like I say, that's a lot of. I don't think it's anything major. I don't necessarily know if they'll keep him out for the spring or anything like that, but that's
Fine.
going to be something interesting to monitor. You got a guy that played 698 snaps at the linebacker position. So that being said, but South Coast is back, so we're going to
You,
transition over. What's going
hang
on?
on, Shad. I owe you an apology, dude.
What's going
Please
on?
forgive me. I didn't ask. How did you make it through the freeze the other day? You did okay? Because I know the great
Oh
state of Mississippi got like pounded with that frozen stuff.
no, I didn't. I didn't go outside. I didn't go outside.
That's not
I didn't
what
go.
I asked you,
I didn't go
but
outside. Hey, so
you
I
did
made it
okay.
fine. Yeah, we did okay. Yeah,
Okay. Because you know me, I
yeah.
was like Randy from A Christmas Story. I can't put down my arm going because I had to go to work those 2 nights. But anyway, so forgive me for not asking how you made it
Oh,
through there. So,
okay.
all
So
right,
now we're going
transition, baby.
transitioning over to everyone's favorite side of the ball. Um, I have two questions. One of the questions is something that I got from South Coast, and then this other question here is Van Wilder. Start with this question, Van Wilder. Is there something written down that says Van Wilder can't come back next year? Because according to On Three, and I don't know if these numbers are accurate, his NIL value is 80K. So what is stopping Van Wilder from basically taking his 80K, paying for his tuition at Miami next year, and playing for a 10th year? Is there some type of thing that says he can't do that?
Well, my question, Shad, is he still on scholarship?
I believe he is.
Wow, dude, man, 9 year scholar. I wish my daughter had that when she was going through medical school. But good God, 9 years! Oh my Lord! Plus he's getting 80K, bro. I'd take
That's
that deal. I would milk that cow until it dried up on the bone and it couldn't eat the corn no more, dude.
that's what I'm saying. So I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what is there something? I'm sure someone maybe in the comments or someone that rewatches this later, is there something written down that says that hey, if he opts to pay for his schooling next year, can he be a walk on?
I guess it depends on how much eligibility the NCAA gives him, and they didn't give
Given
2 a
nine,
2.0 none.
they've given him nine already.
I mean, 10 years in college, he ought to be able to get some kind of pension or 401k or something, dude.
I don't know, hey, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you what was funny though. I'm gonna tell you what was funny though, and because not South Coast Cuban said I'm being Twitter shared right now, but no, for real. I saw someone making a joke about that. It was a Florida State fan. Then I saw a Miami fan say, "Well, y'all can't talk." Chris Winkie was 25 as a freshman.
But he was a freshman, though.
South
But
Coast. This
I know,
South
I
Coast.
know.
That was the first thing that went through my mind. I said, "Wait a minute. This man went to go play baseball.
Right,
He
right,
hadn't played
right.
college football. Period." I remember what was the other quarterback that did that? He played for Oklahoma State. His name I can't think of his name right now.
I
He
know.
went to go play baseball,
Mm-hmm.
went to go play baseball, and
Yeah.
then he came back to Oklahoma State and he did all his eligibility. That's
A
not
lot
the
of
same thing
right,
as being in
right.
college for 9 years. But again,
Well, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that he
exactly,
got
Mr. Overdose, yeah. Brandon Wheaton. That's exactly who it was. Brandon Wheaton.
yeah, the
Dub
first thing
City. Dub City. I Dub. I I
I mean,
Dub.
I can step away
Okay.
if y'all need a
No,
moment.
no, no,
I mean,
no,
hey,
no,
but
no,
look,
no,
but
no,
hey,
no.
bro, look,
Uh-uh.
okay. First off, I want to let you, Shad, and let everybody else know, and everybody else in the universe that watches this, Shad. If you wear thongs, that's fine, dude. You be you.
Uh-uh.
Whatever makes
I'm
you happy, we still love and accept you. Just don't
I'm
tell us
glad
or
Dub
show us.
I'm glad Dub is here. I'm happy. I'm
But,
happy, Dub.
but
But
you
no,
know,
but but yeah, how is that? But again, Southcoast,
well,
how is that even the same thing comparing
it's
Chris
not.
Wink
It's not.
and
All I know is if Van Wilder is going in his ninth year, in all seriousness though, all foolishness set aside, you know, he should have at least 2 degrees, 3 degrees by now, free of
he,
charge. So
he
he ought to be
should?
able to be what he wants to be, you know. But second, you know, hey, bro, don't hate the player, hate the system, you know.
But but Southcoast, I'm gonna say this though, and I know some people they're upset about it. You know, I'm not upset about it because at the end of the day, it's like either the younger guys are gonna beat him out and play, or they're gonna transfer and leave.
Right.
Simple as that.
T2Y was talking about that. And I'm like, it's just there. I don't hate it. I don't like it. It is what it is, bruh. You know,
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know why this has garnered so much attention. He's here. If again, simple as this, either he plays or the younger guys surpass him. It's simple as that.
maybe he's the first grad assistant to get NIL. Maybe he's like
I,
undercover grad assistant.
I don't know. Cuban
No,
Kane
but
is
it's
here, so
cool.
I guess Cuban Kane would
Uh-oh.
want to join the show when we talk about the offense.
I
He would
th-
want to jump on.
yeah, I think we're
I'm
gonna have
here. Now I
the
was
ad
listening. I was watching Haslam and doing my taxes. That's why. So
the
sorry. Go ahead.
the adult is in the room.
Oh
No.
wow. Oh wow. Yo, Mr. Overdose, this is wild.
Catch a clap at wow.
My God.
Oh my goodness. That's good though, but you know.
Yeah, it is good because
Yeah, because he only has like what, 8 catches in 9 years? Or no, that was last year. I'm sorry.
But Shad,
look.
hold on, Shad.
Hold up,
Going
wait a
back
minute.
going back to my whole rebuild and remodel, right? We're giving this player 9 years. When are we going to start playing our mighty recruiting class? When we're recruiting at a prime great, Mario's
Elite.
doing a great job. When are we going to start playing these great recruits that we got? Because I thought this program was all messed up and on probation and all this stuff. When are we gonna play these mighty recruits, Chad?
Cuban, I don't follow recruiting, so you're asking the wrong person.
Now I'm not asking
Okay.
you. What they say in the streets that Marius is a great recruiter. We have these great recruiting classes that this
Oh,
program didn't have any talent, but we're still playing. You know these 10 years, these 10-year players.
I'm glad it's your show, Shad. He can pick on you.
Yes,
I did
I
my
don't,
because Chad, please
I did my
explain,
time the other day.
I don't
Go,
know.
Chad.
Shad.
I don't have anything to say. I don't, hey, I just told South Coast, is one or two things gonna happen.
Oh my
Either these
God.
young guys are gonna outplay him to play, or they gonna leave. Simple as
So are
that.
you telling me the players that recruited are not really that great? And these recruiting
Mm,
classes are not that great? These top five, top 10 recruit. I mean, I was told,
Hey,
hold on, said I was told that we brought
okay.
a developer and a builder and a master recruiter. If this is things that I was told, if I was told we have these massive recruits, why are we bringing in these ninth year players, these transfer players, so on and so forth? Please explain, Doc. Professor Shad.
Shad the
Cuban, I have
Great.
Cuban, I have no answers. I have no answers. I don't know. You got me. I no, but no, but Cuban. This is what I say about this though. This is what I say. Um, I'm gonna ask you this question, right? I asked someone this question on a message board one time because they were talking about top 300 players, all this stuff like this, and my rebuttal to him was, I said, well, a player may be a top 300 player in this class, but who's to say that he would be a top 300 player in another class?
Good
So what
one.
I'm saying is, just because this is a top 10 class this year, that doesn't mean that they will be top 10 in some other years. So I don't know if these are top 10 classes. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so so what are we doing
They might.
here? What are we doing
What are we doing?
I've been
as a
asking that
program? What
question.
are we doing?
What are we doing? Cuban, I don't know.
I mean, you are Professor Shad. You don't want to have all these answers. I mean, you're the one that said we're going to win 10 games next year, right? So I mean,
Say
I
this.
need
Say
these
this.
answers.
Oh my
Cuban,
gosh.
Cuban, I said 8 to 9. I said 8 to 9.
All
I said
right.
8 to 9. I said we
Oh my
need. I said.
gosh.
said I said we should. I mean, to show some real true progress, it would be nice to win 10. But once you crunch these numbers, I don't see 10 wins on here. I
See,
Okay.
can't.
when Cuban asked me about the defense, see, Shad, I'm not picking on you, Shad. I'm just this is the reality of it. This is what Cuban brings to the EFP, bruh.
So yeah. So
You
let's go
know,
back to let's go back to this defense, right? We know what
Cuban,
college. Hold on, we know what college football is, right? People get injured. What happens
No,
if we lose a DB cornerback off? We lost two D lines last year, right? We lost Mesidor and who was the
Kelly,
other dude? Huh? Malik.
Kelly,
Yeah,
Kelly.
right. So Kelly, yes. So I mean, if
And
we
LT
lose,
sat out the last two games.
LT set out, right? Exactly. So and we had to play what a 3-3-5 because we didn't have any depth when I was told that we're recruiting at this elite level, right? So where is this elite level recruiting looking at, Professor Shad?
Cuban. I don't know. I don't follow recruiting. I judge players once they make it to Green Tree.
That's just okay.
So
I'm
I
just
don't.
saying, I mean, you have to follow recruiting now because that's for our coaches.
I
He's a recruiter.
you know
He's not a.
Oh my
Cuban.
gosh.
No, 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 Cuban. No, no, I don't, Cuban. You know why I don't have to follow it now? Because these players could be gone next year.
That is very
So I'm
true.
not. I'm not about to get no type of attachment. Listen, I'm not about to get attachment to Armando Blunt, Justin Scott. Who's another one? Zaquan, Nakar,
What
JoJo.
Pause. One second, Jordan. You know what's so funny about what just happened here? We have Twitter Shad said, I don't follow recruiting, but he's naming all the recruits from this class. Isn't that amazing, Jordan?
Well, see,
That's
okay. Here's the thing, Cuban.
I'm on a
Mhm.
message board.
This is hey, this is Shad's barbecue. I'm just here
I
for the
know.
potato salads.
Shad said he doesn't
I'm
follow
here.
recruiting and he's naming
I,
every
I
player on
look.
this class.
I'm here for the
God
bar.
damn.
I'm just here for the potato salad. I love Shad to death, but
Shad, you know I'm messing
Shad,
with you.
you got to deal with Cuban tonight. I had to deal with him when
They
he blew
signed,
my mind about the defense.
they signed that national letter of intent. So they're now officially Miami Hurricanes. So I can't be out here like South
Shad is a
Coast.
lawyer. Shad is a
Know
lawyer in
who's
his
on the roster.
pastime. Shad
I
Insiders
is a
can't.
lawyer.
Club, baby.
I have to know who's on my roster.
Okay.
I can't be like South Coast and say,
Oh
Vilma,
no.
Vilma, DJ, Williams,
Hey,
Kenny Phillips.
But no, all joking aside, I mean
yeah,
I am worried about the defense next year.
I
it
am
is.
too.
Yeah.
It's we have a lot of young players, and a lot of injured players, right? Um, I mean, we are talking about going to the Big Ten, and look what Rutgers did to our backups, right? Or well,
Hmm.
no, quote unquote, our starting lineup, right? Because
Right.
that's what's going to
Right.
be our
Well,
starting lineup, right? So
no,
it's
no,
like,
Cuban. They said those players are not going to be playing next year.
what
That's what I heard.
players?
That's what I heard. They
I
said the
mean,
players that
well,
played
okay.
in the bowl game, they're not going to be here. So I guess Popo's leaving. I saw Pulliam out there. I guess he's gone. Damari,
Damari Brown is going to be gone. Bane's going to be gone, right?
Moulton, Moulton, all these players. They said these players are not going to be here.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, even today, I saw debate on YouTube about you got this running back from Alabama that's transferring, and possibly a Miami running back is leaving, et cetera, et cetera. But again, thanks to Cuban, again, props to Cuban. Love this man's intelligence. Nobody's talking about the defense.
Oh, by somebody defense.
Nobody is talking about the defense. And thanks to Cuban again, not trying to blow more smoke up his ass, but we need to talk about the defense.
Mr. Overdose and Workforce, y'all make some great points. That was our second and third team defense.
I know,
And
and that's what's scary.
to me, I'll say this, right?
Before you keep going,
Ruggers,
Shad, just 1 second, 1 second. Isn't our second and third team recruited, are higher recruited than Rutgers starting lineup?
that's what I heard. I heard that.
Hey, I'm just saying. Go
I
ahead.
would
Sorry, I
say, yeah.
interrupted. I
Go ahead,
interrupted.
No,
Sorry,
but
sorry.
but in that defense, I mean in the defense of the defense, um, Rutgers did have the best rushing attack in the Big Ten. So it's not like it to me is kind of quintessential of like that year we played Wisconsin in the bowl game where Jonathan Taylor
Oh,
was there as a freshman, and they were able to throw where they wanted. They were able to run it the way they wanted. So, um,
but hold on,
but
Shad. Rutgers didn't have any passing game. They just had one running back, and we knew they were going to run the ball every single play, and they managed to score 30 something points on us.
hey, well,
And
well, Cuba, let me tell you this. And Shannon Sharp, I always say this. Shannon Sharp said this just about the Dallas Cowboys the other day, and I hope ain't nobody a Cowboys fan. But he said
No.
some of them guys in the secondary they need to put some bricks. They ain't got no bricks in their back pocket. We know Marquise ain't got no bricks in his back pocket. We know that. So if we look at the guys that actually took the field for that game, we're not that big defensively.
And
We're not as big as we think.
that goes back to, well, why didn't we score 80 on Bethune?
Well, they said
But
we didn't need to score
but yeah,
or that Addison was trash. So,
that a lot of work on defense, man. A lot of
well,
work.
not but before you get to the defense, this strength and conditioning needs to get better. I think we've talked about this countless of times, but we don't look fast and we don't look big, right?
Good.
Pause,
Yes.
right?
Good
But
good point, Cuban, because when the mustache dude come in here and he was making all his little videos about, "Ah, yeah," dude,
ill to sleep,
whoa, easy there, Python. Uh Pause.
please.
The thing is, me personally, this is just me, but I have yet to really see much of any difference in our strength and conditioning vis-a-vis injuries. We still look small. I don't see guys bulking up. What is the mustache doing besides waxing his mustache?
And that's why I'm interested to see will Kiko be available for spring because he underwent a procedure after the season. Now they say it was a cleanup procedure on his shoulder. I'm interested to see will he be a participant in the spring.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
guess what I'm getting at, I am not impressed with the mustache.
Well,
Well,
You know,
I'm not.
the funny part is, we have our fan base like, oh, we need to go to SEC, we need to go to the Big Ten. Our bodies are not, pause again for Shad. Our bodies are not built for the SEC or the Big Ten. It's like we need to
Lamar,
stay, we need to stay in the ACC because it's like we are still a small team. The strength and conditioning coach we should have hired went to Texas A&M. He used to be and it's like I don't. The strength and conditioning is the most important part of your program, and this dude is not a good strength and conditioner.
Oh, is somebody in trouble?
And that's me.
Oh,
It's
dude.
just no, sorry. You can
Like,
hear that?
yeah.
Wow, that was pretty
Oh yeah.
close.
I'm like, dude, I heard sirens, dude. I'm about
Oh
to
no, 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 I'm good. Oh, that's outside.
about to
Sorry.
lock up. Hey, bro.
I'm
Oh,
here. I'm here in New York.
I
Trying
didn't
to
know
close a
you was
deal.
in New
No,
York.
I'm just closing a deal out here, so that's what I'm here for. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But it's funny you say that, Cuban, because and this is gonna be a first. This is a premiere event on Shad's channel, but South Coast Kane is going to retract his statement about Miami needs to go to the SEC because of what you just said, Cuban. I did some soul searching. I was big on the SEC. Of course, I had my own personal bias because I could see them at, local venues. But yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right, dude. They are just they're ACC bodies, dude. They're not big boy bodies yet. But Mario, cops coming.
hell man,
What'd you get, Chad?
they're wilding right now. Nah, what you said though.
But no, I mean, yeah, I mean, and Cuban, as usual, Cuban, the godfather of the EFP, makes a great point. Until we can get some, I mean, dude, let's go back to the defense, Shad. Back in the day, we had some pretty big young guys at defense. Now it's like we look small.
But you know what? I'll say something else too, right? Clemson played Alabama those years where they went back and forth about a national title. Clemson on paper, well, the media said, "Oh, well, this is the greatest defensive line in history of college football, right?" And they were a good defensive line. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they had no effect on that game against Alabama. They had no effect, and we're
Right,
talking about a great defensive line running through the ACC. So it
right,
kind of gets at that point of yes, we are getting some bigger players, body types. Yes, we are, but you're not going against SEC offensive lines on a week to week basis. So we may almost get like a false sense of accomplishment until we end up playing in a bowl game against a Big
right,
Ten
right,
or a SEC team, and we realize, oh well, we're not in the trenches where we feel like we should be.
right. Now again, now
One second,
go ahead,
Jordan, because
go ahead, go
I
ahead,
like
go
to
ahead,
counter. I
please.
like to counter
Do,
Shad.
do your thing.
What positions are we bigger at? Pawns.
I think well the most noticeable one, I think we're bigger from a just freshman coming in. I think we're bigger at the linebacker position in totality. I think from a defensive tackle position.
You seen any freshman linebackers play at Miami? I haven't seen any. Have you?
Cuban. You asked one question. Now you
I'm
try to
just
go
saying.
somewhere else.
I haven't seen them.
You,
You've seen them. I mean, I was asking questions here.
Cuban.
Yeah.
You asked you asked the question.
Yep. I
Now
sure
you
did.
getting over here to did they play? No, they didn't play.
Okay. Just make
But
sure.
body type standpoint, this last group of linebackers, those guys did not get to Miami the same size as West Saint. They were not 205. These guys are already 220, 225 already. So that's a difference, right? To me.
Okay.
And me
Uh,
personally, against Texas when Miami played Texas A&M, okay, yeah, they were pretty successful, but I asked one question: where is our Mount McKinney at? No disrespect to Mags, but where are the big boys at? We haven't gotten. I mean, we're getting better at offensive line,
excuse me.
but we still look small.
You guys say that, but I don't see it. Right? I don't see it.
But Cuban, I know you don't
But
see it. I went through the snap count. I didn't see it either, but I know it's there.
I mean, now of course my eyesight is kind of starting to fail. That's why I'm wearing the Gleater, the readers,
Hey,
1.75 that is off of Amazon. But you know,
hey,
it just it's like you see these. I don't know, maybe it's the camera angle, but as a whole, I just don't see where the mustache has made that much of a difference. I don't know.
work, workforce. Popo played a grand total of 38 snaps last year.
What's up,
Grand,
workforce?
but I get your point.
All
Um,
right, Shad. Where are we transitioning to, dude? Because Cuban's gonna be on your
want to
ass
talk,
all night.
Cuban want to talk about the defense. I mean, I don't have anything else to say.
No, we go to the
Um,
office if you want. I mean,
no, I
we
just
get.
wanted. I just hate that I missed South Coast Show live because those questions that he had, some of the questions were interesting,
Well, let me
and the
let me
one
let me. I don't want to interrupt. I know it's your show, Shad. I am so sorry,
this
but
is our show.
apparently, you didn't watch the whole video.
I did. I watched the whole video.
What happened to hashtag Fly Girls?
Oh, that happened at the end, at the very end. I didn't watch the
So
very
see,
end of it.
you see, Cuban, you're my
Okay,
witness. You said you watched the whole show. Now you just
okay.
lied. What
Minus
else have
five,
you lied about?
-5 minutes.
Okay. See, Cuban, we're not giving.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
can we
Watch.
trust Chad?
I got a pop quiz. What did me and Jordan trademark on that show?
Oh, come on now, y'all can't do that.
Come on.
Okay.
It's easy. It was an easy. If you watch the
No,
show, we trademarked the what was it? The Powerade.
yeah,
Powerade.
yeah, I
Powerade.
did that. Cuban, not Cuban. South
Thank,
Coast said
thank you, Cuban.
cow eating corn. I remember
Cow eating
that.
the corn.
I don't
The
remember the trade.
Lakers. You didn't watch the whole thing, or you would know what hash. I
Watch.
bet you. Hey, Miss Ellen, are you still here? Because I talked to you, and I
I know,
told but
Jordan. I know what it
hashtag.
is. Shad
Thank
heard the
you.
rumors. Shad went on
Yeah.
Twitter and heard the rumors. He didn't. He
Hey.
didn't go to the show. Somebody,
No.
an insider told Shad the rumors about the show. Jordan, that's what it
No,
Hey,
was.
Shad.
Battle.
I
Shad.
would
Shad. Have
bet
you
you.
ever watched? Have you watched a Marvel like Iron Man or Thor or Avengers movie? Have
Yeah,
you ever watched any of those movies?
yeah.
Did you stay until the very end when the credits
No,
were over?
Oh, come on,
mm,
Shad.
See,
I'm
you
getting
missed,
out of here.
dude. Okay, again, Shad, I love you to death, just like I love Cuban. But I kind of gave an insight into why I am what I am. I kind of explained a few things after the thank you for watching with the 1975 color thing.
but I
I
gotta go
talked
back and
about it,
I gotta go back and finish it.
and I watch your stuff till the end, dude.
Come on.
I'll watch it to the end. And then you sit there, you put like 25 comments in the comments section,
I
but
did.
you did not put hashtag fly girls.
I'm sorry. I am
I mean,
so sorry.
look, bro, I still love you. Okay. I still think you're Shad the Great, but you disappointed me, bro. You
I'm sorry.
disappointed me.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go back. I'm going to finish watching the closing credits. I got out of there. I thought it was over. I really did.
No.
It was like it was like
Don't
Cote
tell him.
shows.
Don't tell
No,
him.
no, I'm not gonna tell. It was like Cote shows when he was on the phone with Old School for like an extra 20 minutes. That was when he turned everything off and he had to show us Old School after 20 minutes. That was hilarious. That's what Jordan did pretty much.
That's right.
I missed it.
I mean, you learn. I mean, you know, I again, this is your show, Shad. I'm just here for the potato salad. But you know, I tried to open up to my fan base and it kind of explain a few things. Like, you know, if you notice, I have hot pants play it. I play a lot. I do the R&B, the stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, okay. I explain why I do that. You
All right,
know.
I got
so let's get on this offense.
Okay. Offense. I'm
Shaq.
sorry, Cuban.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry,
okay.
Shad. Let's do it. Offense. You want my 12 questions?
okay. Let me start with this because Cuban brought it up. Or maybe it was QB that brought it up. We were talking about the NIL like a bonus, right? I wrote down De'Aaron King's name. The reason I wrote De'Aaron King's name down is because remember De'Aaron King was the first player to get an NIL deal. And during the 21 season, remember De'Aaron King got hurt, and I believe the CEO, who is also a alumni of Miami of Camping World, he came out and said that basically the way that we're playing now is kind of hampering or hindering the NIL agreement to some extent. And some people felt that Derek King was forced to play, even though he was hurt, because of NIL. So my question is this: Do can we say now that maybe if a guy is not playing as much, it's because the player that is starting has to
Well,
satisfy
yeah. Well,
satisfy?
let me get in here. It happened last year with TVD. TVD. The
Yeah,
only reason he was playing is because of NIL, right? There's no other reason why your quarterback's throwing 10 interceptions a game and he still should be on the field, right? TVD had no business playing past the what is it, Georgia Tech game? Would you
Yeah.
say, right?
Yeah. I
He
agree.
had no business playing any more football because like we've seen this story but Mario, being stubborn, just let him play. But I think it was all part of a NIL deal. It's like we gotta keep him in there because of NIL. There was other players that were, had to play because of NIL, and that's the sad, unfortunate truth about college football.
Yeah.
Well, my inner Cuban is coming out. What does
Well,
NIL stand for?
Name, image, and likeness.
So if TVD is on the bench after the Georgia Tech game, how is his name, image, and likeness not being profited?
Because he just got a trademark approved for Tyler Van Dyne. So if I am a
Right,
business person and I paid for that Tyler Van Dyne, hey, Coach Mario, you better play this guy, or else I'm going to report this to the NCAA,
right. But
aka Florida and Florida State.
right, he can trademark the name, but if if you sell jerseys with dimes on the back or Van Dimes, okay, he can get a couple of dollars off of that. But when you we're starting to get into the NFL s type scenario where you paying players to play a game. In other words, whatever deals or contracts Tyler had with other outlets or other groups or whatever, even if the university sells the Van Dimes jersey in the bookstore, he can get a couple of dollars off of that. But my question is, if he sits the next game, I mean, are we paying TVD every week for every game?
This is not. This is my rumor. Cubans Canes rumor. This is not pertaining to Shad or South Coast Kane. So the what I'm about to say is not pertaining. Does not belong to this show.
This is going to be good, Shad. Buckle up.
This is me wearing my tinfoil hat. You can't see it, but I think the person who paid for this NIL, his name is Mario Cristobal. I think
Yes.
Mario gave him a little portion there and said, "Hey, I am spending this money on you, right? I don't care if you have broken knees, broken backs, skins coming out of your leg. You're
Mm,
gonna pay because I am paying you X amount of dollars, and you're gonna stay in this football game because there is nobody could explain to me why TVD was on the field after all these mistakes. Again,
right,
these are my
right, right.
rumors and my tinfoil hat on."
but you
All
know
right.
what, Cuban? You know what, Cuban not to. And, somewhat piggyback off of that, right? We understand that, how, like you said, South Coast about the NFL aspect, that some guys have like contracts, like I think with the Jets and the Packers, like Aaron Rodgers had to play about 80% of the snaps for them to get a certain draft pick or something. So maybe that very well could be a situation where I'm not saying it's about TVD, but we were talking about Derek King, but just from a NIL, just the way it is incentivized, should I say, that may have well could have been a situation where, hey, look, you got to play in this many games in order to get this amount of money.
Right,
And the
right,
kick behind all of that is you got hurt.
right.
So
And that
you're
that
hurting.
right, and that's my question. And it's like I was under the presumption that NIL was for like jerseys and commercials and EA Sports that'll never come out with the new game anytime soon. And not so much we're going to pay you X amount of dollars for every game you play. I mean, am I wrong? Or, I mean,
No,
because you haven't heard much from Ruiz.
you're right, but it is essentially SMU, the Pony Excess, 30 for 30. That's what's
Yeah,
going on now.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
because again, this is my whole thing when NIL came out. Not to get back on that, but this is my whole thought process. I said from a overall perspective, it's only a handful of college football players that the general population knows.
Right.
Now, we as fans, we know our players because they're our players. But Jacoby
Right.
George was our statistically one of our best receivers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Walk right
Mm-hmm.
outside and walk right next door to my neighbor and say, "Hey, do you know Jacoby George?" They're gonna say, "Who is that?" But
Exactly.
if I ask him, do you know Caleb Williams?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, he's quarterback for USC.
But
So
you
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
know why that's happening, Shad? You know why they don't know players anymore? It's going to change in the summer now. You know why?
what's going on?
No college football. College football is going to change the college football video game is going to change that. That's
Kevin,
because kids are
I,
going to remember names and all that stuff. That's
I
how.
have yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I agree. Cuban's right, dude. Shad, what do kids know today? They know TikTok
no,
dumbass videos and they know video
uh-uh,
games.
no, South Coast. What I'm saying, I understand what Cuban is saying. I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about the people that would write the checks for the NIL, the people that
Oh
have
yeah, yeah,
money
yeah.
to purchase the stuff that they're soliciting. So
Mm,
if Caleb Williams is on a Powerade commercial or whatever, I know him. But Jacoby George is not on a Powerade commercial. Why
right,
are you not on a Powerade commercial? We don't know you. You're
right.
not. You're
Well,
not.
well,
So
Shad.
video
Oh,
game is going to help, but a video game is not going to help some 17 some 19-year-old person working at a John Deere factory. That's not going to
Oof,
help him know
oof,
exactly.
I disagree.
okay.
I
Okay,
Well,
disagree.
well, well. First off, Shad, you just like me. There are so many Miami fans around our neighborhoods that nobody's gonna know who's who anyway. But as far as to my understanding with the video game with EA Sports, whoever is in the game, whoever's name, image, and likeness is used, okay, they're supposed to be compensated. So, with that being said, I believe that, when if okay, let's say EA drops that bitch in July. Okay, let's just say that. Okay. Well, everybody on the Miami Hurricanes roster is going to get paid depending on their negotiated contract and dealings with EA. Okay. Uh I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Ward is talking with EA Sports right now. Okay, for being on Miami instead of Washington State. But what I'm getting at is Shad, when this EA Sports NCAA video game drops, dude, it is going to be the hottest thing since whatever. And a lot of young men in college football are going to make a lot of money off of this. That's where everybody's going to know these people on the roster, because that's what the NIL in definition and the basics of NIL was about was video games, jerseys.
And I think where you're going to, Shad, you're talking about corporate dollars, right? And what's going to
which
happen is the owners
which is
of
what
these,
NIL's which is what NIL is supposed to be.
right?
I'm a
But these kids, the
company.
kids of these, of these companies are going to be playing these games, and they are going to know who random player from Miami is, random player from Central Florida, because like, oh, my son is always playing this game and he's playing with this random person from school A, right? So this video game is going to be very impactful for the players in a great way. They're going to get
It is.
exposures that
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have before, because you got to remember now we have, when
Mm-hmm.
this game was out, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok were not out. Now these games are out here, right? So it's going to be not these games, but these social media and my social media platform are going to be out there, right? So um these things are going to be game changers.
Because I can tell you right now, when that NCAA football does drop, I'm going to go spend the whatever $100 on an Xbox X. I'm going to take Dylan Day. I'm going to take, you know, yeah, It's going to get my money, dude.
Well, let me
It
Chad. Did you play college football? The video game?
Yeah, I'm still playing NCAA 13 right now.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm in I which I go get the lesser teams. I think I'm with Miami of Ohio. I'm in
Oh, so
2030
you
right
play
now.
the same way that I do. I play with 1 star programs and build them up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
dude, I've been me personally, I've been playing ever since like QB says, the Bill Walsh football, the Super Nintendo college football. I've been playing the Sega Genesis. I mean, of course, I'm a lot older than y'all, but yeah, for
Hold
me to
on.
have the Hurricanes and I spend hours putting in the players' profiles and stuff,
Let-
you know.
I have a question. This is being recorded, right, Shannon? We're an hour, 1 hour, 55 minutes and 23 seconds.
Wow.
So does this mean in the summertime, all 3 or 4 of us will join an online dynasty league, and we all have to play with the cupcake team and build them up. And who's gonna win. This whole dynasty is gonna be me. But I'm just trying
Of
to. I
course.
just
Of
want to have a
course.
disclaimer out here that that all 3 of you are going to join I'm gonna call it my beatdown, but my dynasty, and
Nope.
I
Nope.
just want a
Nope.
confirmation from all 3 of you guys that you're going to join
Nope.
my online dynasty, and I'm gonna beat you guys.
Cuban, I already succeed. You are the greatest. I'm not going to even try. You are the king.
We,
I bow.
we'll see.
I bow. And like Alan says, Tecmo Bowl. Hey, I can't tell you
We'll,
how many hours I played on Tecmo Bowl on the
Shady had a face
Nintendo.
that Shady had a face
we'll,
like, yeah, right.
we'll
Okay,
see.
again,
No, but
Shad, not my
besides
show, but this young man, Dub City. This is a new person I haven't met yet. I want to hear from Dub City if that's okay.
Dub is an interesting character. But I
Hey,
want to introduce. But
do it.
what's up, Dub?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, Dub,
Not
nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet y'all too.
Talk to us.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question. Hey, um, check this out, right? If they you know, speaking to the well, speaking about the the NCAA football games, right? If they would y'all still play the game if they didn't put the player, put the player's name in the game? I know
In
I
a
would. I
heartbeat.
wouldn't care.
Yeah,
In a heartbeat.
nobody.
In
Yeah,
a
no, I don't think
heartbeat.
anybody cares about the names. We care about
In a heartbeat.
year 4 or 5 of the dynasty trying to rebuild the program. Nobody cares. We just care that the school, stadiums, and the uniforms and the editing abilities in there. We don't care about player X being in the game.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Shad. It's your show.
Yeah, sorry.
No. Yeah, no, yeah. It was a general question. All three was yeah. We'll play it because the thing about it before that was it was a couple of people that you would find that you go over there to the gamer tag and download. They would have the roster name there, so they'll just go in and just download it and boom, there go the names right there. I played with Stephen Morris and Duke Johnson and Rashawn Jenkins. I played with them a lot of times back in,
Careful,
during.
careful, Shad. Don't incriminate yourself.
Well, I'm just saying.
I know, I know,
No,
I know.
no, but
But
South
yeah,
Coast, the question. No, but the question I want to get to South Coast is this: you brought up said that why I'm paraphrasing. Why did it become such a big deal that we had to get a transfer portal quarterback? Why was that such a big deal?
okay. Here's the preface behind that. You know, when TVD transferred to the land of brats and beer and cheese, my thing is, and I talked about it, Cuban can attest to it, he can testify, but who started the conversation that Miami had to get a portal quarterback when you had Jakari, you had Emery and you had Judd coming in. It's like the times that we live in, it's like instant success. I blame that on instant grits and oatmeal. But what I'm saying is, Jakar, I just want to know why did Miami have to get a portal? Why did Miami need a portal quarterback when Jakari, in my opinion, just needed time to train and get experience and get better? That's all I was saying.
Dub, what do you think, Dub?
I think it's because Mario know his job gonna be on the line soon. Like that's what I think, and I know with Jakari, honestly, I think we probably would have got maybe 7 wins again. We had to get somebody that was proven. So that's my you know thinking process on it.
Now, I think Dub has fallen to the trap that we've all fallen into, and that is not taking into account the defense. Get him, Cuban.
Well, no, I mean, I think that's a myth that Mario's job is on the line. I don't think his job is on the line nowhere. He could have, he could have gone whatever and 7 or 6-6, and he still. I don't think he would have had any pressure. It's just why did we get a quarterback? I don't know. My whole thing is we need to rebuild this program and with this offense, nobody knows if this is going to be a spread offense, a balanced offense, a run offense. But it's like I don't know why we got a quarterback. To be honest, I don't. I mean, I like that we got Cam, but I don't see the purpose because it's like we are still going to, I guess, rebuild or remodel. I don't know the term anymore because I'm lost. But it's just I don't know the reason. To answer to Shad's question, I don't know why we got a quarterback. To be honest.
No, that's South Coast question. South
Oh,
Coast
South
asked.
Coast. Sorry, South Coast.
Well,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, because again, it all goes back to all these people wrongfully misjudging Jakari based on 2022 results. You know,
in a
for
game.
some reason, everybody thought Jakari was still 2022 Jakari. And when TVD went to the land of brats, cheese, and beer and snow, they thought they went to Chicken Little syndrome. They thought JB was no good based on what? I just wanted evidence that Jakari was not the guy. And all they could bring up was 2022. And the fact that Emory went 8 for 23 against Clemson. Okay. And he played game manager against Florida State, you know. But again, it's just not fair to Jakari to just cast him off like that because he doesn't meet your expectations. Now, again, like Cuban says, I mean, Cam is a valuable addition to the offense. He can help the younger guys learn, but it's like Coach Hayes said, Chad, y'all know this. We're in it's a new world, a new way of college football where you don't spend, a year or two for a young guy to develop at quarterback. Now it's like, got to do it now. Got to
Oh,
do it in 2 years or you're off to the landfill.
okay, so I'm going to be a YouTube media personality, a Kane Spaces person, and a Twitter person right now. Okay, so just beware. But we want to be like, I mean, we won the national championship, right? Chef, we won the national championship, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
if we want to
yeah, yeah.
be like the national championships, right? So champs. So if you look at Michigan and UGA had a walk-on QB, and Michigan had a QB that threw for 10 yards in the national championship game. So why even get a quarterback? We should have told JB to transfer. We should have told Emory to transfer, and we should have just rolled with Poffenberger and won a
Oh,
national
man.
championship.
He can dunk.
And he could dunk a
Shirtless.
basketball, right?
Hey,
So I'm just trying to follow what the national championship
yeah,
teams do, right? National championship
yeah.
teams
You
have
know what?
walk-on players, and
Right.
so I'm just Shaq, I'm being YouTube media
No,
right now. Kane's
Cuban.
YouTube media, and I'm being Twitter's Kane Twitter media right now.
Oh wow.
So if you want to be like Bama and UGA, let's get a walk on QB or QB that throws for 10 yards, and we'll win a national championship.
QB, I'm not QB, Cuban. I'm glad you said that because that made me think about something. You are 1,000% right.
Always.
Shouldn't matter who the quarterback is. You are 1,000% right because these teams that we're talking about, the Alabama, the Georgia, because obviously, and everyone else is just behind. There's nothing special. Stetson Bennett is not was not a first round quarterback. JJ McCarthy's not going to be a first round quarterback. Jalen Milroe just went to the playoff and he wasn't a thrower. So, Cuban, you are right. So that just makes it even more interesting. What was the hoopla about when the teams that y'all say that we should be mirroring are one Michigan? They developed their guy, even though he only, like you say, only threw for 10 yards, and I don't even think they didn't even throw the ball in the second half of the Penn State game. Um, Georgia had a JUCO walk-on quarterback who's less than 6 feet tall, and Alabama had Jalen Milroe. So you're right, Cuban. Why couldn't we go into next year with what we had on the roster? And like QB say, there is no guarantee because I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, Cuban. You weren't on here. I'm gonna ask all three of y'all this one question. I asked Coach Hayes this question. He didn't want to touch it. The last 4 years, and I said this on my last live, the last 4 years, starting in 2021, 2022, 2023, and well, 2020, 21, 22, and 23, our starting quarterback went down.
Yep.
Who's to say that it don't happen this year? All three of y'all. Dub
I
City, you
I
sitting up.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
start with Dub.
yeah. Please do. Please do.
Dub, what do you feel is gonna be different this year?
I I think I think it will be a difference this year because y'all didn't agree with me when I said Mario job is on the line, but if Mario job on the line, Dawson job is on the line. So stuff. I think first of all we need to get a quarterback coach, and then we can just put whoever in there because other than that, I think with Cam we probably get 2 or 3 more wins. Like that's max. I think we'll probably go, win 9 or 10 games because our problem is really coaching and versus players. So
Dub, I have
that's
one
that's
question.
that's how
Why?
I feel
Why?
about that.
Dub, I got one question. Why do you think Cam is gonna what proof? Not proof, but what's your reasoning on why you think Dub is gonna? No, not Dub. Cam is gonna give us 2 or 3 more games, knowing who the head coach is.
I think because Dawson would call better plays, versus the plays he was calling like with JB, and stuff like that. So that's how I think we'll get the 2 or 3 more wins out of Cam versus JB.
You sure
Italy.
Dawson's the OC?
Dub,
Tread
Dub,
lightly,
you,
Dub. Tread
Dub,
lightly.
Dub, you ain't got to answer that.
I,
South
I, I,
Coast,
I wasn't. I wasn't. I
South
wasn't.
Coast. The original question. TVD, according to PFF, had one of the greatest offensive lines in Miami history.
I
He
doubt it.
still got it. He still, hypothetical. He
Yeah,
still
yeah.
got injured 4 years in a row now.
Well, because
Can we avoid?
like I said before, that this whole O line being great, it's a myth. Nobody, I got my Twitter went crazy when I said that.
It
We were
did.
max protecting, right?
I
TVD
would
got
agree.
hurt when we had to go head to head, and our line was not blocking that good. Everybody's
Yeah.
saying Matt Lee was the greatest center in the face of the earth, but every time Matt Lee had to go one on one, he got his ass bullied out the way. You know, So, everybody just loving this whole mirror ball stuff. I'm like, man, I don't know if mirror ball's like that, but that's this line is not like that. Everybody keeps thinking this line is like that. Mario is protecting mirror ball because he saw year one that line was getting beat up, and he's like, all right, we need a max protect because I don't want my best friend to get killed. Sorry, I don't like mirror ball.
So let me echo or kind of go expound before I get back to the original question, Shad. How many times did Dorsey get sacked in '01 and '02?
I don't know.
It wasn't much.
No, it wasn't.
Now, as far as the 2023 offensive line, it was an improvement. It was better than, of course, the 2022 injury riddled, no
Fake news.
experience,
That's
second
fake
string.
news.
Yeah.
Fake news. Fake news. Fake news. John. Fake news.
But all I can say and judge and comment on is what I see on the field. Now, yes, the offensive line of 23 was better. It was good. It had its kinks, it had its issues. All I can hope for is that it gets better. Okay. Oh, what was the question, Cube? Shad? Something about the quarterback?
Last 4 years, our starting quarterback has gotten injured. Can we avoid that this year?
Now,
I know.
first off,
I know you really can't. You really can't answer that question. It's
oh,
really
I
not
can
an answer
answer it.
to it.
I
But
can
I'm
answer
just
it because who's to say that TVD wasn't injury prone? Okay. He got injured in last year because he
yeah.
was getting basically gang raped and curb stomped because the offensive line was decimated, et cetera, et cetera. So who's to say that he didn't get injured so bad or he did not wasn't allowed to heal fully? And then, in the spring or the fall camp of 2023, we find out like 6 months later that he hurt his thumb. Okay.
Okay.
And again, one thing about Mario that I don't like, but I understand where he's coming from, and I hope there's a reason for all this mischievousness. But he don't tell anybody anything like TVD being hurt before the season started. Okay, TVD may have been hurt last year, 2022, but
But South Coast, a
Well,
lot of coaches do that though.
oh, I know. But who's to say that TVD wasn't a China doll? Because you do get players that
hold,
get hurt.
let,
You
let,
know,
let me butt in. 10-4 had my comments. The comments I'm about to say do not belong to anybody on this show. Okay.
ain't my show. Talk away.
So I've heard the rumor is that Mario is an offensive line coach. Mirabal is an
Right,
offensive line coach. Right. That's what I heard. Now going to
right,
Shad's question. Right.
right,
When King was quarterback his first year, he didn't get hurt. Right.
right.
And
Bowl game.
we,
Bowl game.
huh?
I heard the bowl game. And he
Well,
was coming
that
from Houston. I
yeah,
already hurt.
yeah,
Yeah.
got hurt the very last game, the bowl game, right?
Yeah.
When he played second year, he tore up his knee, and then TVD got in.
Right.
So he, really a quarterback really didn't get hurt because he was still recovering from that knee surgery, right? But
Okay.
we have this great old line coach, this great old offensive line, right? And our quarterback has been hurt back to back years. Again, there's two people I need out of this program, and that's Mirabal and Mustache Man. They are extremely overrated,
But
right? Go
but
ahead.
who's going to call the plays if Mariball's not there?
The
Oh boy.
offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah. Okay.
We have a fake offensive coordinator right
I
now,
know, I
right?
know,
So
I know,
so
I know, I know.
so yeah. So going back to it, everybody keeps praising this offensive line was great. this offensive line was trash. It just had max protection, and it's like, oh, we didn't. It's like, yes, there was max protection. That's why we brought this, you know, um, Shad's great grandfather back on his team, right? It's like, why, it's
But
because we need another blocker in there. We need more
you know,
blocking tight ends. We don't need receiving
You mean
tight ends.
you mean X? You mean X?
Shad can appreciate this geographic question because I don't know where in Mississippi he lives, but Shannon Dawson is about his family, he's from like 20 miles up the road from me. And I can't tell you how many times I have not decided I want to get in my truck and drive to Clinton, which is 20 miles from me, and just sit down and say, dude, let me buy you a 6-pack. Let's talk about tell me what's going on. I mean, but then again, I don't want to get thrown in jail because I'm too pretty to be in jail. But what I'm getting at is if I see Coach Dawson if he happens to venture down here, I'm like, dude, what is going on?
He's
Go
not gonna
ahead,
tell you.
Dub. Talk to us, Dub.
Dub, I got a question for you before you say something. Because you said you feel like that Cam Ward could get us two or three more wins. Let me ask you this question: how many wins do you think James Williams and Cam Kitchens accounted for this year?
Oh, here you go with
I
plagiarizing
think I
Cuban.
think they got us. I think they got us a good 2 or 3.
So
I'm gonna
basically,
stick with that 2 or 3.
so basically we just gonna break even.
Well,
Basically, I'm just saying because if they gave us 2 or 3, all Cam is gonna do is replace that 2 or 3.
it just
So we
depends
still,
on it just
I'm just
depends on how good Isaiah Taylor's supposed to be. The safety, Jason Taylor's son. Which
Whoa, where
I
did?
think he's gonna be all right. But like I know we'll never replace Cam Williams or whatever. But
Hold
you
up, Dub.
know,
I got to call time out, Dub. Why do you think
Oh,
Jason Taylor kid is going to even start? He didn't even play at Arizona.
he,
he got 146 snaps, so he he played a
well,
little bit. He played about 8 games.
first of all, the same reason why Dion's son starts.
Okay. Oh, you got me. Sorry. I apologize.
Shallow.
I apologize. You're
Shallow
right.
really ain't all that great, but he's starting because Dion is his dad.
When I'm
whoa.
wrong,
So
I'm wrong. You're
that's
right,
how I
Dub.
think
My bad.
Taylor gonna start.
Hold up.
Dub,
Hold up.
Dub,
Shad,
we
Shad,
Dub here.
Shad, Shad.
all to
We are a witness to some groundbreaking history here. Dub shut Cuban down.
Yeah. You know why? Because look at that offensive line. What
Yeah.
happened in the what happened in the bowl game? Nepotism at its finest. So
Uncle Ball.
Dub.
Hashtag Uncle Ball. Hey,
So yeah. So Dub, you're right. I apologize.
no.
I take everything I said back. You're
I
right.
don't I'm not trying to be an ass, but Cuban, I love you to death. But Dub came correct, bruh.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
did.
think I would ever see Cuban the Great. Sorry, Shad.
he
Good
might
job, Dub. I love
he might
this. This is good. This is good.
he had 146 snaps at Arizona. He might, but I don't know because then we got Savion Riley. He
What happened
played
to
We
for
our
him.
gotta we gotta see who we gotta see who they try to put back there first. Competition is a whole lot different when your dad is a coach versus your dad not being there, and that's what I'm gonna say about that. You know,
Uh, all I hope is Jaden Harris is back for spring because if not, that's gonna be interesting. Who's our other safety? That's it. We don't have another safety.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I think he'll probably
Who-
start unless they move one of the BDs or whatever back to safety, which I don't think they would do. I think they're gonna go get Isaiah Taylor the first shot to mess it up. If he don't mess it up, that's gonna be our starting safety.
hold up, hold up. We are in year 3 of the Mario regime. You mean to tell me there is not a Mario recruit that's going to start back there?
And
Oh my
in a
gosh.
in a perfect world, Jaden Harris and Markeith are supposed to be the starting safeties, but it very well could be a situation where Powell, um, Savion
Thomas.
Riley, Savion Riley.
Saquon, Saquon, Allen, me and Allen.
I think Zaquan is interesting, but it's I think it's gonna be interesting to see how quickly he can learn the playbook and stuff like that.
But
Because
but
So year 3, we have no starting recruit for Mario. They're all transfers.
Cuban, I know you being serious right now, but I'm gonna be serious right along with you. Cuban, we going into this year, we very well could be in a situation. I'm just looking at the numbers right here. We could very well be in a situation where just starting, we could only have two two actual high school recruits starting on our defense. Starting, not rotating, but starting. Because deep well three. Because you'll have Bain, you'll have West, and you'll have Damari Brown. The rest of those guys are transfers.
So what are we
Daryl
doing
Moore,
as a program? What are we
there's
doing? What's the goal? What are we doing as a program?
I'm saying we building.
it
They didn't
campaign
they didn't be a
promises.
they didn't be a Rome in a day.
Hold on, hold on. Jordan, Jordan and Shad, let me get this. I got this for Dub City. Dub, is this a rebuild or a remodel?
man,
Dub?
Cuban might be right. We might
Let it.
not have but three high school players
Yep.
starting on defense.
Let,
Defense.
nah, Chet, Chet. Let Dub answer.
Let
It's
Dub
a
answer. Hold on,
rebuild.
Shay. Let Dub answer. Dub, is this
It's
a
a
rebuild or
rebuild.
remodel?
Watch this. Watch this. Mario been there 2 years, right? Okay, this is his third year. I bet our team be better this year in our third year than Alabama gonna be in their fifth year when they just lost Saban.
Wow.
That's fine. We ain't talking about that. We talking about
Wow.
we talking about Miami. I'm not worried about Bama, Oregon. I actually direct question Dub City: is this a rebuild or a remodel?
I answered your question. I said rebuild. It takes time to rebuild.
Okay, okay. It's
Any
a
team in America at least take 3, 4, 5 5 years to rebuild. So
so
this
so
it takes time to rebuild.
so Shad just said this is year number 3. There's only going to be 3 Mario recruits that are going to play on defense. If this is a rebuild, why do we still have 3 defensive players that Mario recruited on defense? This is not a rebuild. This has been a remodel the whole time he's been here. There is no new players playing. It's all
Some you
it's
know
all
what?
transfer and Manny
When
players
you
that are playing.
rebuilding something, when
God,
you rebuilding something, sometimes the pipes burst. So when the pipes
maybe.
burst, you gotta remodel again in order to finish rebuilding.
Dub. Let me tell you something, Dub. Let me give you some insight. We've all been through this with Cuban Kane. Cuban Kane has asked everybody, rebuild or remodel. I did a whole friggin' show on this. So don't feel like don't get upset. I understand. I feel you, brother. I feel you.
But
Because
this,
when Cuban first asked me that question, I'm like, man, who is this dude? But no, he does that to everybody. So you're right. I mean, that's Cuban, bruh.
but
I
Dub,
understand. I'm not gonna bow down on no nothing. I know it's hey,
nah,
it
look,
is what it was. Hey, Cuba, let me ask you a question.
shoot.
Who you think will be fired first, Dawson or Mario?
Dawson. Mario's going to be here minimum 6 years. They're going to get. They're going. I'm telling you what's going to happen. We're going to treat Mario the same way that Michigan is treating Jim Harbaugh. Mario is not. That's. I'm not. I'm not saying fire Mario. The only thing I'm frustrated with Mario is he should have done a rebuild year 1, and by year 3 we should have at least 70% of his recruits playing on defense and offense, and that's not going to happen. By year three, we should have a Mario QB. We should have a Mario offensive line, receivers, so on and so forth. Think about it. Next year, our top two receivers are Manny players, George and Restrepo. What are we doing in this program? It's like what are we doing here? We're gonna have a transfer quarterback, right? What are we doing in this pro? We're gonna have a 10-year tight end. This is not a rebuild, right? We need to rebuild. This program desperately needs a rebuild, and we're not doing that. What the YouTube people and all the Twitter people are
Let
saying,
me
this
let
is a
me ask you a
rebuild
question.
program, and it's not.
Hey, Cuban, let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
Since you said it's a remodel, right? How many games do we need to win before it start to translate to from a remodel to a rebuild?
I
Here
don't
we
care
go.
about the wins. I care about who's on the field and building with those. When you're remodeling, you have to you're doing that with you're winning five. You're winning 5 games. You're winning 7 games. You're not winning when you're remodeling and playing these transfer players. You're winning 5 to 7 games. That's just a complete waste of time. I could get these young boys that are not experienced, that are young, to win 5 or 7 games. There is no purpose to bring a TVD, Cam, James Williams, LT, so on and so forth, to go 5-7 and 7-5, or whatever, or 7-7. If you're going to do that, you might as well do it with the young players. That way, when it comes to year 3 and 4, you're competing for national championships. We're not competing for a national championship next year because we've been remodeling and we're still remodeling because, year 4, we're going to have a new QB. So guess what? We're going to be rebuilding in year 4. So it's like we keep pushing what needs to be done down the line when it's like it's just go ahead and do it on Mario, or not even Mario, Coach ABC, whoever the coach is,
Coach
destroy it
ABC.
and rebuild it.
Hey, Cuban, Cuban.
Yep.
Check this out, right? I'm about to give you some breaking news.
Oh Lord.
Here we go.
Did you hear me? I'm about to give you some breaking news, right?
Go ahead.
Eddie.
Miami will make the playoffs this year.
Oh boy. Is this recorded?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's it's
Okay.
it's, it's fair use, fair use,
All right.
fair
So let,
use.
let, me, let me get at him. Let me get at him. All right, Dub. Name me the
I got
starting defense. Hold on. What, Jordan? Be
no. I
quiet.
gotta refill my cup because this is getting good, dude. I don't
No,
want to
no,
miss.
but don't refill your cup because I want you to
Okay,
hear this question.
okay. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Dove, name me the starting lineup for the defense for Miami Hurricanes next
Oh
year.
shit!
Name me the defensive starting lineup.
I'm not going. I'm not going. I can't name you the starting lineup. Okay.
There you
I'm
go.
not. I'm not going to attempt to try to name the starting lineup. But what I can say is the schedule favor us to make the playoffs. So that's why I'm
Schedule's
saying
been
what I'm
favoring
saying.
us for since we got to the ACC
Because we ain't
Coastal.
got but one really tough team.
Dub, we played
So
in the ACC
we
Coastal
should
and
have
managed to
one
win the
loss.
ACC Coastal one time. This program has always been favored to win. We, I don't care. We've looked at last when Mario took over. We beat Duke 50-0. Then the next year they came and beat us down. I'm tired of seeing of us Miami fans saying, look at the schedule. Our schedule's always been easy. It's never been tough, and we always have a 7-7 season, a regular
Oh hell no!
mid-season.
We matter of fact, we going undefeated. I changed my mind. We going undefeated.
Oh shit!
Shad, is this being
Oh
recorded, Shad?
shit!
Hey man, yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
We going undefeated. I promise you, we going undefeated.
Don't feel special, Dub. He's put both of me and Shad through the ringer too. So
Look at
don't
look
feel
at look
Oh,
at this. Look at the schedule. Look at the schedule and tell me one person, well, one team on the schedule you think we're gonna beat.
who? Say it again.
I'm talking about regular season.
Ball State could beat us because Michigan, MTSU beat us. So if MTSU beat us, Ball State could
See,
beat
you
us.
you
I
talk
don't.
about okay. The Texas A&M beat us. No,
Yes, they
quit
did.
talking about 2 years ago. We talk about this year.
All right. I mean,
No, go ahead, you
this
Cap.
is the Miami program, and we've known this is the Miami script. We know we're going to lose a game that we're not supposed to lose a game, like Georgia Tech, right? It's like every year is the same stuff. We're going to lose a game that we know we're not supposed to
I
lose.
think I think Mario lost. I mean, I think Mario learned from his mistake, right? I don't think Mario gonna do the same thing he did again
He did it
last
at
year about
Oregon.
not
He
kneeling and
did it
stuff
at
like that.
Oregon,
They
and he
passed
repeated it
that.
in Miami.
But I think if you actually look at that schedule, you cannot tell me two teams is actually gonna beat us.
Florida, Florida State.
Oh no, no, no. Okay, okay. Stop, stop, stop. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, nah, dude. I am not. No, no. Shad, I know it's your show. We gone off the rails on the crazy train. Nah, bro. I will never. Shad, they look. Florida State gonna have to beat us. I'm not gonna say they're going to. It's gonna be a struggle.
I'm
I
gonna
love you,
change.
Cuban. I love you, Cuban. You're a
I,
great guy, very intelligent, but nah, they gonna. I'm not gonna sit here and knuckle
I'm a
under and say
Canes
that.
Canes fan, man. This
I
Canes
know.
program has beat me up.
I know.
Every year,
Yes.
we're gonna be Duke. We're gonna go undefeated, and we lose dumb games. Until I
Right.
see Mario beat Florida State, I'm gonna have Florida State beating us. And
I understand.
year one, no, the first game against Florida with the whole new starting. Come on, man. I don't. The thing is, I don't trust this pro. It's not Mario. I don't trust this program at all, not for 1 second. This
I understand.
program has constantly, with whatever coach, this program.
Florida is under investigation, so we ain't, they not gonna have a team by the time the season starts. So we're not gonna worry about Florida.
No, no, it's just it's. I'm just using my history, Miami history,
Oh,
and just knowing
I
that what's gonna,
We did
has
I agree.
changed.
I agree, Cuban. I agree. There's going to be a game where Miami's supposed to win, they lose, but whether or not we're favored, I just can't knuckle under to those people. But I understand. Hey, look, we've been
we
together
we
for a while, so I
we, we didn't jump. We didn't jumped out. We didn't jumped out the window now.
don't
We
look, Dub,
it's too early.
Cuban's in rare form tonight, Dub. So hey,
Too early. It's
I'm
too
just
early
glad
just to,
he's picking on somebody else.
it's
Go,
too early to
Shad.
see
Bring us back together,
right now.
Shad.
It's too early
Yeah,
Bring
to
the
see who's in.
entertainment.
what you think about it, Shad? What you think about it?
He
I,
don't do
I, I
recruiting.
I said it. I said 8 or 9 because I have to figure out what we're gonna do on the defensive side of the ball. We got too many inexperienced players that are gonna be asked to step up. So that's my thought process about it. And the other thing that I'll say is, with the exception of Cam Newton, can we when as a quarterback transferred in for 1 year and made all this magic happen?
At Miami or in the NCAA?
Just in general. When was the last time a
Ah,
quarterback on 1 year left, aside from Cam Newton, where you just transfer in 1 year, you make all this magic happen?
well, I'm going to jump in, not to be an a-hole, but, give Cuban a break. He needs to catch his breath. He's in rare form. Uh, I don't know. And honestly,
God damn, Miami.
Yeah, I saw it too.
I I don't again, Cuban opened my eyes when he asked me about the defensive roster.
That's all
Even
I'm
if
concerned.
Cam comes out and the offense is averaging 500-600 yards a game, like the the Rams back in the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner or whatever. The defense has still got me concerned, and I question. I have a doubt with the defense just because we don't know. Uh
Hey, I want to something funny. They was on Twitter. They talked about how TVD threw all those interceptions with a clean pocket. Cam Ward threw 5 interceptions with a clean pocket.
Hey,
well, that and plus I heard Cam kind of fumbled the ball a few times, but then
But
again,
I
I
don't.
don't.
I don't want to pile on him because he's
No,
not.
no, no,
It's not his fault. But
no.
I asked Coach. Well, you know what? I'm gonna ask y'all this. I know South Coach says he go fill your cup. So let me ask Dub and I ask Cuban this, and then you can answer when you come back. I asked Coach Hayes this very question. Do you feel like that Cam Ward is going to try to overcompensate this year to try to make himself look better for the NFL draft? Because 25 and 6, I believe, was his numbers this year. And I think 21 and 4 was his first year. So maybe in the back of his mind, he like, look, those numbers only gave me a third to fifth round grade. What do I have to do to get a first round grade? Do you think that he's going to try to press more and try harder
He
to try
has
to
to.
make something
He has
for
to.
himself?
He has to, and it's for the program. He has to as well for the future of the program because you have to recruit quarterbacks. So I know I was joking. I was joking around when I said this, but we cannot look like Michigan or UGA's offense where we're running the ball majority of the time. That's not going to get him where he wants, and he is being selfish. As you see, he went back and forth with his whole contract negotiation, right? So, with that being said, it's like he's going to go for the gusto, right? You know that he's going to go try to pass the ball X amount of times, get all X amount of yards. He's going to audible all these time, and he has to do that in order for us to be successful. So, yeah, that's my answer.
What do you think, Doug?
I think that was an excellent question, like to be honest, because it just depends on the play calling, I think. And then again, I think that's the same thing TVD did. He was trying to, live up to the Van Dyne thing or whatever. But do I think he would do it? It just depends. But I'm leaning more towards yes than I am no. But I think it might be a neutral type thing because he don't want to do it too much because he know he might make mistakes and be a seventh round pick or whatever versus him being safe, managing the game, showing NFL scouts and stuff that he know how to manage games. So that's that's
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Faith, what I was talking about was I'm talking about like you only had 1 year of eligibility left. Like Quinn came back this year and then he's coming back next year. I'm talking about a situation where you have no eligibility whatsoever left.
Well, I think
And
Cam got two. I think Cam has 2 years left.
are you sure he played?
I think
Incarnate Ward?
I said I think. I'm not sure. I think he has 2 years left.
No, he got one. He got one.
They got stuff
Even
because
with that
he
COVID
was
year.
the COVID year. I think only applied to players that came in for the 2020 season. But he's been in college for 4 years already. So yeah, technically he probably could play a 6 year, but I know he's not.
Yeah.
I know he's not.
What's going on with the tight end, man? I think this dude. I think that dude just like messing with the younger people coming in there or something. Like, come on,
Hey,
dude, get out of college. You've
hold
been in
up,
college for 20 years.
hold up, Doug. Let me let South Coast answer. South Coast, do you feel like Cam Ward is going to try to do too much? Do you think he's going to be pressing this year for
That is a
draft position?
that is a good question. That is part of my 12 steps to recovery. And that is Cam going to be his
Yes.
own worst enemy?
Yeah.
Is he going to try to do too much? I don't know. Now again, you'd have to compare apples to oranges vis-a-vis Miami's offensive line, Washington State's offensive line, Miami's play calling, Washington State's play calling. But the one thing that I took from all the countless, countless highlight reels that everybody posted, uh, Cam just tries to do what he can do in order to be successful down the field, and I just hope that he's not his own worst enemy. That's all.
Yeah, that's my thought process. Like you, I don't know how serious him going to the draft was. Right, that was
Right.
what was reported. But if rumors are correct that hey, look, they gave you a third to fifth round grade, and you threw 25 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, obviously the fumbles were an issue as well.
But then again, how many of
But
those
you had
fumbles were
to,
attributed to him trying to do too much?
yeah,
We don't know.
and Coach Hayes' answer was that he felt like just throughout the flow of the offense,
Hmm.
he wouldn't have to press.
Right.
But I think if you look at the Rutgers game, right, I know some people say that doesn't mean anything, right? But we did see Matt Lee not play. We did see Cohen not play, and I don't think we're going to replace them with equal talented players. What we saw is Rutgers' defensive line got some pressure.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't think that Cam is going to have, and like you say, Cuban, I'm with you, but I ain't all the way with you. But I don't think that even applying Cuban logic, I don't think you can. And shout out to my dog QB. I don't think we can have a situation now where we're only sending out 3 routes next year. That
Right.
doesn't help Cam. And another thing, how about this? How about this? How about this? Do we know if Cam can read a defense?
Well,
Van Dyke
Exactly.
couldn't, so that's a good question.
Not piling on a young man, but again, what do you have all y'all looked at the highlight tapes?
no, I'm not even going to waste my time doing that.
Okay, I haven't, but what I've heard was he goes around, make a lot of plays, defensive line breaks down, air raid. Okay, let's take their logic, right? The logic of the individuals that or think a certain way. They said an air raid offense does not teach you to read a defense. So how do we know Cam Ward can read a defense any better than Tyler Van Dyke?
Well, hold on, but so I go to Lashley, right? Lashley's offense was throw it to this guy because he's going to be open TVD. It's at the same time the coordinator needs to give proper direction of where to throw the ball to, right? These players are, to you don't need to really read offenses to be successful. Look at Tua. Tua just throws it to a spot, and he led the
I,
NFL in and he led
but
the NFL in passing.
Cuban. This is what I'm gonna tell you though, Cuban. See, this is where those people that got mad with you about the offensive line, this is where they logic and they standing on the table come back and bite them in the butt. Ain't nobody said nothing about Cam Ward can read a defense better than Tyler Van Dyke.
Right.
Nobody said whether or not Cam Ward can dissect a zone defense. Nobody said that. We don't know what he can do. Because the whole thing about Rhett Lashley was, oh, well, he telling Tyler where to throw the ball to. Okay. Shannon Dawson. Oh, well, he throwing the ball to X too much. So what if Cam Ward comes out and he throwing the ball right to X the same way that TBD was going to do? What y'all going to say then? We don't know what Cam Ward can do.
Yeah,
My man Dub right here saying he give us 3 more wins. Dub, we don't know if that man can read his own defense.
Doug got us winning at Louisville.
We
I got to
don't.
win it. I got to win in the Florida State. Well, when the Florida State come to the house, I got to win it. I think. So you got me back on that, but let me say this right here though. If Cam get hurt, which I hope
Hmm.
he don't,
Hmm.
I hope he
Boy,
don't. You know,
I
Hmm.
hope he don't.
but I know injuries happen in college football,
Not under Rick.
so I might move my undefeated season to 9 wins.
I just want to know Who knows if Cam Ward can read his own defense?
I mean, well,
But we seen Tyler
Who
Van
knows?
Dyke couldn't. Cause we
Look,
actually
that's what I'm saying.
we
So,
yeah, because we
Doug,
actually thought it was what's the offensive coordinator? We actually thought it was Gaddis' offense. He would just mess up. I honestly think Gaddis didn't know the plays. Van Dyke didn't know the plays. I don't
Mariball
think a lot
did.
of people didn't know the
Mirabal did.
plays.
Mirabal did.
So, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I still to this day feel that Gaddis was unfairly judged, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, Shad, there are 1,001 questions that we all
no,
have.
nobody asking those questions.
Well, that's because that would totally disrupt the hype train that is fully fueled and ready to go down the track. And what I mean is the the there's been a lot of stock put into Miami has to have a portal quarterback. And now the narrative was if Miami doesn't get Cam Ward, it's Chicken Little syndrome. Okay. Well, guess what? All you cats on the YouTubes and the Twitters you got your quarterback. Okay. And like Dub said, what God forbid, what happens if Cam goes down? You know, uh I think a lot of this stuff is just a bunch of
Hey, South Coast, guess what?
yes, sir.
I never wanted Miami to get Cam. I wanted Miami to get Will Rogers. I'm just gonna be straight up honest about that.
Why is
Well,
that? What's the reason?
Because he's a better passer.
and I respect that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Whatever makes the team better is fine. But this is just me personally. Okay.
Oh, no.
I think Jakari would have done just as good. Okay. And I'm not dismissing Cam Cummins or Will Rogers or any or shirtless dunking guy Puffenbarger.
Mm,
Yeah, no. But it's just there, thanks to Cuban. I give him credit. Talking about the defense, you know, Cam is going to be Cam. Will Rogers would have been real Will Rogers. Jakari would have been Jakari. But, you know, we'll see. And I think the narrative is going to switch from all these cats who wanted and said Miami had to have a Cam. Okay.
Hey, South Coast, I think we already had our Cam in JB. We needed something different.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And you know, we're just sitting here talking on the YouTube. So I mean, we're just a bunch of guys, just regular everyday guys giving our opinions, you know. But personally, I think the money that was spent on JB, not I mean on Cam, excuse me, you know, plus the NIL, we could have went and got us some good defensive guys because I honestly think based on what I saw in the Pinstripe Bowl with Jakari, including the bounce passes, I think quarterback, in my opinion, was the last thing Miami needed to worry about. I think they should have went after other positions. That's just my thing. But with Cam being here, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Mario and Shannon, dude. I'm just saying.
Hey, Kader Armin, if they would have hired Cam, I mean not Cam, if they would have hired Kiffin, Kiffin would have been messing with every student that went to Miami. That's why
hey,
That's why they didn't hire
And we
Kiffin.
would have had a winning record if we had Kiffin.
Okay.
Twelve and
Hold on,
zero.
hold on. Time out.
Time out.
Let me get on Dub right quick. Dub,
Time out. Time
are
out.
we
No, we're not
Nebraska?
going there. We're not going there. We're not doing it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do the Kiffin Mario thing. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
I think
I
yeah,
don't want.
if we would have hired Kiffin, yeah, of course we would have been winning. But like I
I
said,
don't.
they didn't want another Jimmy
I
Johnson.
don't want.
That's why they didn't hire Kiffin.
I
I
don't want.
really wanted them to hire Kiffin.
I don't want to do the what whoever would have been better. Let's keep the focus on the young men, right? So, um, been on here 2 hours and 50 minutes. Get out here at the 3 hour mark. So, last topic we were going to talk about. W had brought up Cam. What did you want to say about that? And we'll finish it off with that. Yeah, nothing to say about him, Cam
Hold
Dub.
on, I'm trying to sit here and think because I was thinking about
Oh,
the
okay.
whole Lane Kiffin thing, man.
Oh.
Like,
Nah,
yeah,
nah. I mean,
that would have been a mistake.
maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do that.
What were
If
the what were the questions, Shad?
no, you had brought up Cam before we kind of got into this this recent discussion. You were just talking about Cam. I don't know if you were concerned with him, coming back another year or what was it? Look at Ellen. Want to start something? Nah,
What you
Ellen,
doing?
we ain't gonna do it today. We can do it
Hey,
another time.
Hey, Ellen, I love
Ellen,
you. I
Ellen,
love you, Ellen.
all I
But
gotta do is go to my channel. We can continue the
I
afterward.
think Cam, I think he'll do good as long as the receivers catch the ball. I think he'll have a good year. But like I said, I also think that we already had a Cam on the team, and I wanted to have somebody, like I said, like Bill Rogers, to give us a different element, to the game because it's
Oh,
like
you were talking about? Are
if
you talking about
one,
Cam Ward? Are
huh?
you talking about Cam?
Oh, you
I thought you
talking about okay? You talking about the other Cam,
I
the
thought you were
Lamb?
talking. Oh, I thought who you were talking about. Oh, you were talking about Cam Ward. Okay, my bad.
No, you talking about the tight end Cam?
Yeah, I thought this was what you were talking about, but you talking about the quarterback.
Yeah, I was talking about the quarterback when I said that. But yeah,
Okay.
I was talking about the I mean the
Oh,
tight end earlier. When I was
okay.
saying like, he about like Lane Kiffin. He just want to stay in college, and stuff. But yeah, I was talking about the quarterback.
Okay. My bad. Okay. Um, I mean, Faith. At some point, I kind of thought that at certain instances, especially with some of the way the running back carries were disputed. But I mean, Mark Fletcher, he did what he had to do. But like I said, we'll finish it off with the Cam. Cuban, you got anything else to say about Cam? We'll go to South Coast and then I'll finish it off.
No, I got nothing. I'm just listening here.
Okay, South Coast.
Well, Shad, first, I appreciate you having me on here. I apologize if I may have disrupted your
No.
but this is how it is. This is part of the entertainment for foolishness posse, dude. Oh, nah. I first off, Dub, good to meet you, bro.
Yep.
Love the conversation, brother. Uh as far as I'll be honest with you, dude, as far as anything goes, Cam, offense, defense, we'll just have to we'll wait and see, you know. Right now everything is speculation. Everybody's right, everybody's wrong. Always Cuban comes up with his questions that we all love and enjoy. Uh, until we see something on the field vis-a-vis the spring game or whatever, then we can kind of evolve our conversation and our opinions. Uh, and right now it's just we're having fun with each other, dude. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, we don't know what I mean. We there's an idea. of what Cam Ward can do, right? But again, until it's put out there, we have to see because one of the other things that I said was people are assuming that Shannon Dawson is just as good or if a or is a better play caller than the offensive coordinator he just had at Washington State. We don't know that yet. I don't think the offenses that we ran in name recognition they're the same, but I don't think they are orchestrated the same. You know, a lot of people were talking about, hey, we had three receivers over 500 yards. Okay, yeah, we did, but Washington State had three receivers over 800 yards. So it's a difference. And again, like I said, I we most people say, hey, the Pac-12 doesn't play any defense, so we play a little bit more defense over here. So that's going to be interesting to see how he does in terms of doing all that. And this will be the question that I have to. I'll leave. I'll leave. I'll end the show with. Let all three of y'all answer. Hypothetically speaking, if Cam Ward, and obviously because we know NIL is tied up in all of this, if Cam Ward doesn't look as good as most people look, does he get pulled? I'll start with you, Doug.
That's a good question. I hope they do for the betterment of the team. So like I said, I already think we got another Cam on the team anyway. So if they don't pull it, they need to pull him and give JB his shot. Like don't do like they did with this last year when TVD was out there throwing three interceptions in 2 quarters and didn't want to put Emery in or somebody in at the end of the game to try to come back, and we almost came back and won a game. Like they got to take him out. I don't care how much money they paying him.
And I'll add QB point on this. Um, um, because if I say just average, I think we have to look at it from an average of what. I'll say this. I won't say TVD. We'll just say one less interception. How about that? One less interception, but yes, a TVD type of stretch. But okay, so Cuban,
You want my controversial answer? It's very controversial. I don't know if it's rated for your
go,
show yet.
go for it. Go for it.
He's a black man. He will get pulled.
That's all you got.
That's all I got. He's a black man. He's a black quarterback. Hell yes, he's gonna get pulled.
Okay, South Coast.
As much as I agree with Cuban, I think money talks and bullshit walks. I think that they leave Cam in until they have to pull the stretcher out because they're paying too much money for
That applies for everybody except the black man. Sorry.
him. Well, again, I want to go on record. Okay, I'm not trying to deviate from the question, but I think Miami would have been just as fine with JB, with Jakari. I've been, not going fanboy, but I kind of feel bad for Cam and Mario and Dawson just for the simple fact that there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on Cam to succeed. Everybody out there wanted Cam. Everybody wanted Cam. Now you got him. Okay. So now Cam has to deliver the goods. He has to do his thing because you got 8 for 23 sitting right there. You got shirtless dunk man, shirtless Gatorade dunk champion sitting there. Okay. But I know it's not the question, but I have to ask this question. And it's been plaguing me for so long. What did Jakari do to not earn the respect of all these knuckleheads? That's all I'm saying.
But
What did Jakari do to not earn the respect of all these knuckleheads?
I
Okay,
know
Shed.
I know we gotta get off the show, but John, like I told you yesterday, in sports, especially in college sports, you have maximum 2 years to impress. If you're not on the field
Right.
by year two, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to get on the field. So where I don't, I'm not an insider like Jordan is, but I don't know if he said if he did tell the program, hey, I want a redshirt this year. You could redshirt
Right.
your freshman year, but you cannot redshirt your sophomore year because every year they're recruiting somebody, and now with the transfer portal, they're recruiting somebody to take your position. So I think he messed up by taking the red shirt this year because this is college sports. Opportunities are so limited. There are people trying to take your job. Like if Emory would have never been hurt, Emory would have been the quarterback for this program, all because JB decided to take a quote unquote red shirt, right? You're limited in college sports. So that's where I think he messed up at. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're quite all right. I mean, poor Shad, he's had this he had his show all planned out, and then I
No, we
showed
talked
up.
about it. We
Cuban,
talked.
you showed up. Dub, I am so glad I have made your acquaintance.
Hey,
I appreciate it.
we
It's
talked.
just poor Shad, his show has gone off the rails.
Hey, I got all my notes off. I wanted to talk about the defense. We talked about defense, so we talked about it. But you, South Coast, to answer your question, I agree 1,000% with Cuban Kane. And to answer my question, and Dub, I allow for you to answer that question that South Coast just asked as well. Um, I agree. Uh, I don't think he gets pulled. I think the only way he gets pulled out if he's physically unable to actually go out on the field. That's the way I feel. Because even though it was under a different administration, a different coaching staff, with the Derrick King situation, when everyone that was on the inside knew he wasn't 100%, and they still put him out there to Alabama, and he kind of tweaked it a little bit more. So, and I'm sure he was getting nowhere near the NIL deal. But then again, but you know what? Let me say this: it's gonna be a balancing act because on one hand, it's like if I am kind of nicked up, I don't want y'all to force me out there on the field because I'm thinking about the bigger picture of going to the NFL. But then it's like, well, if you don't play this amount of games, you're not gonna get this NIL money. You see what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting. But Dub, what do you think about South Coast question?
I didn't. I would look at the
What
TV.
was
What was the question?
what was the question?
Two
I don't
years.
even
No, you
remember what
know
the question was.
he asked why doesn't the fan base give Jakari the respect that you know we feel that he deserves in terms of maybe being looked at as a viable option to be a
Oh,
starter because again it's
I-
already a because we
it,
already know there's not a quarterback competition for QB1. So maybe to add on to his question, why
I
why
may
shouldn't why, why shouldn't Jakari get a shot to be QB1 this year?
I may have to talk about that on my channel
That's a. I'm
unfiltered
saying
when this is
that's a
over.
good question. Um, I think I think maybe last year he didn't know, and it's just a possibility. I think last year he didn't really know the playbook, and this year he know the playbook more. So I think they I don't care how much. First of all, I don't care how much money they pay Cam or whatever. I think spring practice should be an open quarterback competition. Best man, that's who start. You mess up, put the other person in. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Agree. Well, it was great talking to all three of you, fellows. We must do this again soon. Um, y'all have any last words that y'all want to say before we get out of here?
Go
Uh,
ahead, Dub.
Yeah, I'm glad. I caught y'all on here, or whatever. So good talking to y'all. Cuban,
Doug, we got to battle more.
I love I love you, my brother. But we
Doug, I
go we
want to
going
battle
we
you
gonna
more,
go
Doug.
back.
I want the battle,
Get it.
Doug. No, I'm joking, man. And I always appreciate meeting you, Dub. It was dope. We need to have this more often.
We
You
gonna
know,
get it. We gonna get it.
yeah, we need to have more often. These are healthy conversations without getting all emotional and people's feelings. So I appreciate everybody here for being an adult, not a little kid, and having an adult conversation and just not being in their emotions. So I appreciate you guys for that.
Okay.
Well, me personally, again, for like the 100th time, Dub, good to meet you. That's why I love this thing. I say this on my channel. I love meeting new folks. There's some great folks out there. I love talking to y'all. Cuban, you know, we have a great I love Cuban. Oh my gosh, Cuban makes you think. Shad, you my man, dog. You my man, bruh. Uh, and as at first, I apologize if I hijacked your show. I do apologize. Uh, I mean, y'all don't know, bruh. Y'all just don't know. Something about Shad. There's just something about Shad I like, bruh. There's just something about it. Uh, but with that being said, I'm thinking, I know Shad's got to go to bed because, he's got things to do tomorrow. But, I'm thinking about carrying this party on to my channel and we can discuss this, especially this Jakari thing, because I'm not a
I'll be here.
fanboy, but, I like Jakari. Uh, but this has been fun. I love this. This is why I do this. I don't do this because I'm looking for the likes or the views or the clicks. I want to interact with all you good people, bruh. And every time I come on this thing, I always meet somebody new, i.e. Dub City, with great perspectives, because if we all agreed, we would be no better than the knucklehead nucleus, you know? But when we can have a good discussion and we can have our own point of views and our own opinions, that's what I love. That's if Dove feels that Jakari is the man, but Cuban feels that nah, man, we got a shirtless dunking guy. No, that's Shad.
Nah.
You know,
Hey, I like that. Hey, I like that shirtless Duncan guy also. Now, I just
e-
didn't bring him up. I like him.
easy now. If you like shirtless dunking guys, that's your business, bro. But but
Yeah.
nah, this Shad, dude, I love this. And we really, honestly, Shad, Cuban, Dove, whoever, we really need to kind of venture into this EFP, man, this entertainment for foolishness posse, bro, because you have all these corporate channels out there that have umpteen thousand people on it, but we could do our thing and have the EFP, man. I'm
Well,
just saying.
I'll no. I mean, I've been asked to do my own, but I'm like I'll get banned from Twitter and YouTube because
No, no, no. Cuban,
I call
nah,
people out by names and I'm not scared
Cuban,
of them. So
Cuban.
I have to respect people's channels
No,
because
no,
I
no,
will
no.
call.
Cuban, Cuban, Cuban.
Mhm.
Hey,
When you
I'm
come,
with y'all, man.
look,
Whatever
when
y'all want to do,
when
I'm
you come,
available.
when y'all come to my channel, when you come to my channel, I embrace it. Okay,
I,
Cuban, you
I,
come to my channel, you know how I am. Sorry, Shad.
I'll be the Cat Williams
That's,
Kane's media.
that's fine. That's fine.
Hey, Cuban. That's Cuban. That's why we get along because I'm the same way.
I'll
You
be
know,
yeah. I'll be
again,
the Cat Williams of this B word. So
but you
I
know, poor Shad. He's like, man, I ain't letting that old bastard on here anymore. But Cuban, Dub, anybody. That's one thing that I stressed is that everybody is welcome. All opinions are welcome. I don't care who disagrees. Bring it on. That's what we're about. what they gonna do? Ban us? We'll make another channel. But anyway, take us home, Cuban. I mean,
No,
Shad.
Shad.
Well, when they ask what they here for, they here for this.
They didn't come back for the cocaine. They came back for face.
They come back for the base. All of the insiders out there, you know, when they said things were gonna happen, and they didn't happen. This all I gotta say about y'all.
Look, what does that say? Bald-headed lie.
What I got for y'all. And then when y'all say that, you know, that this is going differently than what it has, and you know, when I say, well, Mario's doing the same thing Al Golden was doing, you know, this all y'all got to say to me.
Oh, that was different.
And when y'all say that y'all have sources and y'all know somebody auntie and all this stuff like that, this is what y'all sound like.
In my chest, right? I fall on the ground, right? And I look up and Dr. Martin Luther King. I said, Dr. King. He said, oops, I thought you were somebody else. Oh, man, you lying. You ain't never met Martin Luther King. Knocked the wind out of me. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. Yes, he did. No, he did not.
Y'all don't know these people. With that being said, we out. We're gonna talk about this EFP. And as always, man, like, share, subscribe, no hard feelings to anybody, you know. So I already said who it is I'm talking about and who I'm not talking about. Shout out to Flo, shout out to Canesville, shout out to Coach Hayes. You heard, you talk, all y'all. But some of y'all, all four of them, y'all. That was for y'all. And y'all know who y'all are. So with that being said, man, we out.
Shout out only to Coach Hayes and Coach Coop. That's it.
That's right. That's right. And Shad the Great.
And Shad and Jordan and Doug.
Hey, y'all, yeah,
And
y'all
you
take
talk.
it easy. Be safe. Be
All
safe.
right.
Take care, Dub. Nice to meet you, sir.
All right, you too, sir.